end this volatile week. Go get them.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that midday show. That in the pins or the stripes is your girl Adara, and I am Sharif. And we're gonna wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream as the dudes Obi and Neil killed it today. Absolutely fantastic show, guys. Thank you very much for that. Darwin, Matthew Booth. We got Botrix. Who's this person? Nader QA, we got Benson, we got Odyssey, TH, Scott H, what's up? We got Atif, we got Ron John and Ron EV as well. We got the Piper, Ronaldo, Picky Eater, Cesar Sandoval, and Rock Doc. Shout out to everybody there. King Jesus, what's up to you? Bora Hut. We got Picky Eater and Cass M, Glenn Smith, Adam Deluce, Dragon, Adrian, and PC. Big Spal Burdette joining us as well. Dad Trader, Bob Dub, Donkey Trader, Randall Leger, as well as SM. Shout out to you, my man. Good morning, Adair.
Good morning. How are you today?
I cannot complain. Not bad.
Oh, I like that we're both in shorts today. We're both shorting. You know, I'm eating a burrito. You're eating an apple. Right now, I basically eyeing this earnings. This is what day 2 earnings for Chipotle. I might already be getting a little, instead of chopped up, chipped up in this name. I want to explain why I did this, though. So I like this look because we were below the 90 EMA. We rejected. I was like, okay, cool. Get involved. I waited. I was, fairly patient. I was like, okay, great. I'm down to stay in this unless I see anything switch up here at this area we're at right now, 50-20s. Why is that of interest to me? Because that was a little bit of that previous low before the most recent low we got, right? So I'm like, if we make a higher... If we push up above here, that's going to be a bad look for me. My issue yesterday with Chipotle, I got out of a trade that actually would have been almost $2 in the money. I got out negative on it because I didn't give myself enough room to run, and I was overthinking it. Now I want to give it a bit more room to run. I'm actually willing to theoretically, and I say theoretically because I want to see what we do here, depending on how I feel about the book. I'm giving this to 50-20s to 50-30s, and I say that because that 50-30 area might be the actual to high. Look at how much we rejected this. Adara, patience can be patience. So I want to be cognizant. I want to wait and see what we do here. I like we're rejecting 50-20s right now. That's confirming my thesis. I'm doing a new thing where I just have the Tesla book up at all times because Tesla, I will only be book scalping when I see stuff I'm obsessed with, but you don't know what you're going to be obsessed with if you're not watching the book constantly. There will be less Tesla trades today. I'll be taking less of that and more of these earnings plays. But how's your Apple going?
Not bad. We're just chilling out right now, small position. So let's get to the lesson du jour. We are talking about common gaps all day. We're talking about common gaps today. We are going to be talking about gaps, though, into next week as well as we cover more topics there. So keep in touch for that if you are into that kind of thing. So just putting in my outs over here on Apple, as this one is a little too strong for my liking, so likely going to get stopped out. So we'll start off the day 0-1-0 if we do get stopped out over here. So let's talk about these common gaps. Traders, today we're focusing on the most frequent gap type, the common gap. While they might not be as dramatic as breakaway or exhaustion gaps, understanding them super important for our purposes as they are essential for effective technical analysis. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what are common gaps, essentially? Common gaps are, as the name suggests, the most frequent type of gap on a price chart. They occur due to various reasons, including news events, economic data releases, or simply market fluctuations. But unlike breakaway and exhaustion gaps, common gaps often fill relatively quickly. That's how you'll be able to detect them based upon others. And this is kind of what they are. Usually you find them within a consolidation range, and then they fill quite quickly. So the characteristics of the common gaps are as follows. Size and volume common gaps are typically exhibit a smaller price difference between the previous close and the opening price compared to other gap types. Additionally, trading volume accompanying common gaps is generally lower than the breakaway or exhaustion gaps. The gap fill speed, this is kind of the most identifiable part of common gaps, how quickly they get filled. So while not a definitive characteristic by any means, common gaps often fill within a shorter time frame, sometimes even within the same trading session. Their price action is also quite distinctive. Unlike breakaway and exhaustion gaps, which often have significant price movements. Common gaps are followed by price action that tends to revert towards the previous price range. So they tend to revert back to the mean pretty quickly. So some technicals that you can use here or in order to be able to spot these. Volume indicator is super important. Low volume accompanying a gap can reinforce the idea that it is a common gap. The oscillators as well, super important. Indicators like the RSI and the stochastics might show a neutral or slightly overbought or oversold, but definitely not in the extremes, usually when you do see a common gap. That suggests to you a temporary price imbalance rather than a significant trend change. Moving averages as well, important. They should exhibit a relatively unchanged slope. Basically, so what you're looking for there is no fundamental change in how the moving average has changed shape since the gap occurred. So this is exactly kind of where you see them. And you'll notice that there's so many here. This is how common they are. Obviously, you don't see them this often, but if you trade these Chinese ADRs, typically you will, okay? Because they do gap up and overnight, and then there's a lot of trading volume in the morning because the Asian markets are open then. And here we go, another kind of zigzagging area where you can see we gap up, but within 4 or 5 candles, that gap is entirely filled. So when you see stuff like this, you know that there's really no trend change. Now this one over here, which we're not talking about today, you can tell this is a breakaway gap because we're breaking away from a key area of resistance. And you can see that here, even with the limited amount of chart data. So why do common gaps occur? We kind of prefaced this a little bit earlier, but we'll go over it again. News and economic data, unexpected news, economic data releases, all of these things, even sympathy plays with other stocks that are actually news-based. These can all cause temporary price fluctuations resulting in common gaps. But there's also shifts in market sentiment, right? Sudden changes in the market sentiment due to rumors, speculations, other factors can lead to common gaps. Sorry, just one sec. Can lead to common gaps. And there's also trading halts as well. Super important. I mean, obviously, the volatility halts don't stay open that long or stay closed that long, 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But when there's news pending and it's closed for sometimes days at a time, can create really big gaps. So keep that in mind. So how do you trade these common gaps, right? We're not going to get too much into the nuance of trading these common gaps, but you have to understand that they occur a lot, and they're very bamboozling. So sometimes you can mistake them for other gaps. The point is to try to stay away from them. That's really all I'm trying to say. So while common gaps might not offer significant trading opportunities, understanding them is crucial for overall market analysis because you want to know where in the trend you are. So here are some key points. 1, avoid chasing the gaps, right? Since common gaps fill awfully quickly, chasing them can be quite risky. Identifying these areas of support and resistance, though, is important because they can create in and of themselves new areas of support and resistance. So even though they may not change trend or show you anything fundamentally different, they have a way of creating new areas of support and resistance. And consider other factors. Combine gap analysis with other technical indicators to make these informed decisions. I'll show that in a second. So how do you differentiate these common gaps from other types of gaps? Because that's kind of the toughest thing I think we face when looking at these. So to differentiate common gaps from other types of gaps, consider the following technical analysis approach. Here we go. Gap size and volume. This is important. So common gaps are typically smaller in size and accompanied by lower trading volume compared to the breakaway or exhaustion gaps. So a large gap, for example, with a significant price increase in volume is more likely to be a breakaway gap or an exhaustion gap, or even maybe even a measuring gap, which we didn't even talk about, as opposed to a common gap. So gap size and volume, super important to consider, but also the price action after the gap, right? Common gaps are often filled relatively quickly, while breakaway and exhaustion gaps may have more prolonged price movements in the direction of the gap. So if you see it get filled quite quickly, and sometimes it's the day of, you should be on the lookout there. And trend context. Breakaway gaps often occur at the beginning of a new trend, while exhaustion gaps obviously happen at the end of a strong trend. Common gaps can occur at any point in between. But it really is kind of incumbent upon you to look at the general trend. If we've been consolidating for some time, and you see a gap up that doesn't gap above a key area of technical resistance or below a key area of technical support, it's likely a common gap. And support and resistance levels, important as well. Breakaway gaps often break through key areas of support and resistance, while common gaps tend to occur within the existing range. And that's kind of what I really want to push through to you guys. So if you see a gap above a key area of resistance or below a key area of support, you got another check mark on your list there to say, yeah, this is likely, either a breakaway gap or some sort of other non-common gap. But if you see it really within the range and it doesn't break within or without a technical area of support or below technical area of support, above a technical area of resistance, likely a common gap, okay? And a little bit of bonus tip, focus on identifying factors that cause common gaps in the chosen market that you want to trade. This knowledge can help you anticipate potential gap occurrences and adjust your trading strategy accordingly. Adara.
Yeah, gotta love, as someone who likes ranges, those range gaps certainly are fun and worth noting. I like the Chinese ADRs example because they do tend to gap rather frequently for kind of no reason, or stuff's going on in China and then they'll just continue doing their thing 21. I put in the chat CMG, num num num, and that was me munching on some profits on CMG. Really hope everyone is okay there. Thank you for the bang button. Yeah, really happy with what I did. Wish I had more shares, but as you always say, you're always going to be a little angry as a trader. I should have added at 20s, which I said I was considering doing, but didn't do it. I tried to add at 10s, and CMG was like, no, sorry, we're closed for the night. We've got to go clean up the fryer. They don't use fryers. We have to clean the store. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. That's cool. But then I added here at 85s, because that was a bit of an area we struggled with earlier. That's actually where I took profit out, part of my profit, 40% out the first time. So then I added basically the same amount I took out around that area, trying to take out another 40% if we get, I don't know why I'm using 40%. It's just what I feel like doing. At this 72, I believe is where the order, 72 is where the order's set. So I like this. I don't want to see a higher low, which I'm kind of seeing right now. I want us to see continue to grind lower, but it looks like CMG might give me a little bit more guacamole there. So someone put in the chat, they made a pun with guac and walk. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that walk the walk or something but with guac. So shout out to you. Hopefully, I got to shout out CMG here as well, to be fair, CMG. Proud of you. But let's see how far this goes. Also, the other post-earnings name I was watching from yesterday was EW, which is Edward Life Sciences. And their chart might have had you say EW yesterday because it was not a good look. They were down about 30%. They were yesterday's Dexcom and actually more mild than Dexcom. This has been giving you nice little 9 EMA bounces. I was looking here, but I kind of was wanting to wait because before this candle flipped, it did look a little bit bearish to me, so I was like, okay, let's wait, let's see. Right now, we are bouncing off the 9 EMA. If we can't eclipse this area, if we cannot make another higher high, because this is I don't want to say double top, but certainly some resistance at 63.80. I'm going to look through my levels from yesterday and see how I'm feeling about that. Speaking of levels from yesterday, or just levels in general, TSLA, which again, still have the book up, have not traded yet, but there's a level I noticed on the daily chart yesterday during the market recap. I just had the chart up that I want to talk about, and it's 226. Why do I want to talk about 226 in the daily in Tesla? I will explain. So I'm going to zoom out here to just kind of show what this level is. This isn't necessarily a trade I have on right now as much as an observation. This 226 level was a level we tried to wick up into yesterday. We did wick up into it, and we failed it. That was also where we closed here going back on, what is this? This is July 24th. This is Monday or Tuesday, one of those days. But the point I'm trying to make is this is also an area we've had some gaps. We're doing gap lessons, so how can I not notice the weird gap confluence we have going on here with TSLA? This morning, we opened near 225. I said if we get to 226, I want to short this if it happens on the midday. We didn't even get to 226, so I just want to note that resistance I'm seeing here in TSLA at that 226 level. Another kind of gap area we had for going back earlier, then we get even clearer resistance going back to November 2023. So that's my 226 Tesla thesis. CMG continuing to chomp at the bit to the downside. So I don't want to keep typing nom 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 in the chat, but nom 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 CMG. How's your Apple going? Speaking
good. We wet our beak and added at 80s. Going to look to see if it can reject 218. It did weasel its way up into 218, but we were able to get a nice profit taker for about a 20 penny winner off, actually more. So that's a good look there. Let's see if it can dip down a little bit over here. We'll take some out in the 60s. It's having trouble with 218 on the day. You can see it, but it's putting a rounded bottom, which has me a little bit concerned, right? Because we know these rounded bottoms tend to be bullish signals. So we'll just wet our beak there on some more profits. So we'll keep looking to scalp this as it comes down into the mid 60s. Here come the mid 50s. If we can wet our beak a little bit there at the mid 50s, that'll be a good look. And there it is. So nice look right now. Oh, I just got long because I added there, so I have to get out of that. All right, good trade there for Apple as I work with that 218. I'll get back into it if I need to, but I'm looking to basically just zig and zag with Apple because it's been quite rangy all day. I'd say Apple, Meta, Amazon been a bit of a tight range. Google's had some better direction, so has NVIDIA, and they've been a little bit zigging and zagging, but NVIDIA went green to red, I believe. Green to, it was green, then it went red briefly, but now it's rejecting off the 20 again, and now headed back down to, I guess, maybe 112 and a half, so, and a quarter, excuse me, but it did have some support at the $0.50. The low of the day is 112 exactly, with the closing print being at 112 and a quarter. So good direction from NVIDIA, good 20 exponential retracement over here. You can see in the more liquid time of day, like the 10, the 1030, there doesn't spend that much time at the 20. It'll get into the 20 and then it'll reject. But now when we're the slower time of day, you can see it spends more time at the 20. So I've been kind of noticing this with respect to how these Mag 7s have been trading with the exponentials because, well, I have been getting cut up as of late. So, we're doing some more research at home to see where we're going wrong and what we're doing. So right now, doing well on AAPL, positive on it, looking to basically take it a little bit more short, but I am cognizant of the rounded bottom. Not too much in the way of small cap gappers today. I've got Triple M over here. Obviously, it's not a small cap gapper. It just printed high, looking to break that 122, very much respecting the 10 exponential. Saving except for a brief little minute over here. Well, more than a minute, but around 10:30, 10:40, it did break ever so briefly, giving you another opportunity to get in. It didn't quite make it down to VWAP, it was quite close at around that 119, but didn't quite make it down there. I'm also looking at KITT, NWL, and then there's some old holdovers from yesterday. But other than that, not a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah, the small caps did seem a bit more subdued today.
Yeah.
CMG made a new low of day. I didn't get out. I was like, let's see, let's wait. Let's see what we do when we come back to that previous low of day, 49.55. We bounced a bit. I got out 49.57s. Happy with how this trade went. Please just punch. Please just a Chipotle lemonade, which I've never had, but I'm sure is good. I don't know. I've never had one. But I do like this look here on CMG. Happy I took the trade. You always wish you had more shares, but I already, this was a bit more shares for me than I normally take because I did feel confident about the trade. So that even I consider to be a small W. One thing I want to say as well with regards to the trading yesterday and just reflecting is I've noticed there were two trades yesterday that I missed out on because I got it too early because I didn't give myself enough risk. So happy I gave myself a little bit more risk with this Chipotle, knowing that if I'm going to risk 20 to 30 pennies, there was definitely a way you could have made at least that much. So that's my little spiel. The journaling has been helping. I have been trying to reflect more. Now we'll see if that reflects in the trading. I don't know yet, but watching out for Tesla here. Tesla getting into 216. I have not traded TSLA yet. And as I said, I'm going to be a lot more discerning about my Tesla-related choices today because I feel like there are times where I do think I have a good read on the Tesla book. And even yesterday, a lot of the trades on Tesla, a lot of my L's on Tesla were not me getting massively chopped up. It was me getting involved and getting out like 2 pennies later, losing because I was like, oh, I'm not sure. It's like, Adara, you don't trust. If you trust the tape, then you know you were wrong getting into it in the first place. So wait till you have a crazy read on the tape and then go in it with size and with aggressla, and then you're not getting chopped up earlier. So that's going to be the plan with TSLA. I'm not rushing into any trades on this. If it gives me something I really like, I will be going at it full throttle. So just like fair warning, Tesla, just be aware of that. EW, prepare yourself, Tesla. EW here, ew. Like I said, I wanted to see what we did here at the 9 EMA. We're getting a bit of a bottoming tail candle, but we also made a lower high, so I have no read on this yet. I'm going to wait and see. Thank you, Rock Dog. Also, yeah, chill vibes. I think this week has certainly been different. There's been a lot of exciting opportunities in the market, but also I think one thing, too, is understanding what type of trader you are. As someone who, I like ranges, so far, I've only had the one trade, but it's been a bit more of a fun day for me. But yeah, I definitely understand there's going to be ups and downs. I mean, believe me, this week has been, I said, like, literally my worst streak. Definitely since going live.
I feel like you had a fantastic day yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think I recovered yesterday. But yeah, I'm trying to say, I think part of trading what I'm realizing, accepting the highs and the lows. But either way, I hope everyone has a fun day, and thank you all for being here regardless.
And I love your sentiment, man. Good vibes, Katera. Always pleasant, always doing the most in a good way. So shout out to her. I'm in SERV. Here we go. 50s. Give me more. There we go. We'll take a little bit more there. We just got short on, long on SERV. Thank you, Scott, for pointing that out. I did get long there at what word was I? 41s. We were able to scalp a little bit here with some size, but this one is a bit of a bamboozler. I got in here to defend this area crest at 1440. It did obviously break it. I didn't DCA because, you know, just loaded up this one now and I haven't had eyes on it, so I didn't have a lot of conviction behind the name, but I'm more inclined to want to get in at 14. And exactly what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to set up a dip. 405s, come what may, we're going to look to defend that $14 level. That's a bit more of a pronounced crest. And then this one was over here. 1420 as well could be interesting here on SERV. Scott, I don't know how you see it. Oh, there it goes. Should have held a little bit there. It's quite spready though, Scott, for a $14 small cap gapper that's done a bunch of volume on the day. I don't even know how much volume it's done, but I can just tell you based on how it's trading, it's a lot. Yeah, man, 41 1/3 million shares, and it's got like a 7-8 penny spread at times. What bad word is going on over here? So I'm going to keep my eye on this one. I'm definitely interested in that $14 dip and rip if we can get something in and around there. Up 19%. We know that SERV has been around for a while as a small cap gapper. It seems to show up every couple of days or so. It's not technically a small cap gapper anymore, I guess. A $540 million market cap, right? Serve Robotics is the name of the company, and it's got a float of around 24 1/3 million shares. So it's not huge by any means. Let's find out what the set short float is on this bad boy. And sadly, Trade Ideas does not have it. So the NOS boss and his crew don't come through this time, but that's all good. Can't come through every time. Come on now. So here we go. SERV doing the dance with absolutely no shorts or pants at around 14 2/3 because I'm wearing shorts today.
I like that. I like that you're giving people who are wearing shorts some love as well.
And Raheem gave me grief yesterday for wearing shorts. He's like, bro, what are you doing wearing shorts? I'm like, short season, bro. He's like, that's for women. I'm like, excuse me, that's skirt season. Right? I'm like, that's not short season. So
where would you want to wear
Raheem was giving me grief
also,
yesterday.
he has suit season 24/7, even in the summer.
365.
People get to do what they. I say as someone who had a suit on, but you have to do what you have to do. So
yeah, man.
Shout out to all outfits in all seasons.
Right? I love it. So that's the look there. Keeping an eye on SERV. I see you, Chill Vibes. I've got 3 of them locked and loaded. Look at it. It's a monster. It's doing, it's doing the 122 dance, right? It wants to break 122. But, it's not doing it at the moment. 17, almost and more than 4/5 at the moment. Higher highs and higher lows. There's nothing really bad to say about this monster. It's a good recovery from last year. Last year was a really tough year for them. If you know anything about this company, they had class action lawsuits up the wazoo. And that hurt the balance sheet of Dara, so trying to recover right now.
Yeah, also trying to recover, in my opinion, and I have a feeling this will be an unpopular one, Tesla. So I said I've been watching the book. And I saw Tesla getting really waffly with that 216 area. Initially rejecting 216.25. I was very tempted to short. Then I said, wait to see what we do with 216.50, because at the time it was a bit of a topping tail candle. We've had the rejection of the 90 EMA. Then I see us grab 50s. We take that 50s, and we're into club with 50 cent over here with Tesla, that 216.50 area. Now we went from resistance to support. I like it on the book. What's giving me a little bit of pause here, what's making me not turn that Cybertruck on, go vroom vroom quite yet, is A, I don't want to jump in just for this one thing. And B, as Sharif said, it's not just one candle. It's always going to be the balance, the evidence. What's the whole chart telling me? Well, what the chart's telling me is we are below the 90 EMA. I think if we can get back above the 90 EMA and hold 50s on the buy, I am absolutely getting involved in Tesla. And I'm going to take not a huge amount of size, but a Scotia size, because I would be confident and confident in that trade. Look at that. We just got back below 50s. Look where we came right back up to. 50s. Come on, Tesla. Give me some more confluence over here. If we come and bounce here again, we get back and we bounce off that 90 EMA.
I've been looking at that same thing.
I'm taking this long.
Good.
Not until I get see what I want. But if we do, I will be pounding the gavel on that. My judgment will be a long on Tesla. Also, guys, if there's any tickers you want to vote for, you want to see us talk about, Sharif beat me to it.
Oh, good.
In the afternoon show, get involved, ! Join space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. Maybe you want to know what, have some kneelage or some Obi-Wan shed on your ticker. There's a way to do that. Get in that chat. exclamation point, join space, maybe it's TSLA, DXCM, SPY, EWM, yes, I'm looking at my side charts, but whatever is in your side chart and in your mind, make sure you get that ticker voted for. Tesla, I'm taking you. How are you doing?
Good. I'm watching Apple. It just broke that 218 range up into 218 to fifth, but you can feel like no follow through here. Let's see if it breaks. It's above the 10, it's above the 20, it's above VWAP, it's above the closing print, south of the 50. All right, so we're watching here 218.05. I'd like to see a break and take, and then we'll look to trade this one. I just don't want to get in on a false breakout right now because it hasn't had direction, but I do see the rounded bottom, and I do see the incrementally higher lows. Not a whole lot of higher highs. It feels still like more of a 218 top range, but ranges are made to be broken. So if we can continue to watch this and see the range break on there, you go. It drops right below 218 again. So yeah, that's why I'm not super inclined to want to get long quickly on these names. I'm a little suspicious still of this market. 19.1 coming in on the future here as it does drop down on that 19.150. By the way, the future is still putting in lower highs and lower lows. That, trend hasn't changed. So the likes of the big spiraled one and some others are probably salivating at some of these shorts over here, thinking we maybe get a little bit lower. And this is all I see. I see incrementally lower lows and lower highs, with this one still being the lowest of the day. Well, not the day, but during the trading day, this 1045 print over here. So good luck. We'll continue to watch. Randall, $4.99 super chat. Keep it up. Thank you, Randall. Adair and I will do our absolute best to keep you guys entertained and put these trades on for you. I'm also looking at the soft one up here at near high day. Technically, 427.25 is the HOD. To me, though, 424. Sorry, I said 427. 424.27 is the high of day. 424 to me is the better resistance level. And here we go. We're rejecting off that level as the future makes another drop below 19.1. So this is oh, that's meta. My bad. This is interesting here on the soft one. Already $1 lower off that 424. A couple of topping tail candles there that kind of made you feel that the sellers were stepping in at the $0.25. We already know that that was IB high, the high of day printing 424.27 at exactly 10.25, which is within 1 hour of the opening bell. That puts it within the IB high. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at the soft one. I want to see if we get continued moves down or this 19.1 is the line in the sand, and then we start putting in higher lows and higher highs. I'm unsure, and that's okay. So we'll keep watching right here. Let's flip to some of the small cap gappers, see what they're, MMM took 122. Well, did it do it on a closing basis? Well, not quite yet on this 5-minute candle, but it did print a new high a day. Oh, baby. 122.27 is 3M's high of the day, as this absolutely respects everything to do with the 10 exponential on the 5. I mean, that would be the way that I'd look to get in. We haven't even touched the 20 yet. Like, there hasn't even been a touch at the 20. This one was strong in the pre-market. It's continuing that after the bell. So, and then it just printed another high of day, $0.50 now. It's a little spready though, guys. I mean, let's load up the level 2 on this monster. Allow me a second to go back into my triple M screen. Here it is, 8 pennies right now. I saw it at 15, 16 at times, but 8 is respectable, I guess, for a $122 name. Right now, it's about 10 pennies. So yeah, you're gonna have to trade this one like you would a Meta or something like that. It's not as spready as Meta, to be fair. But there it goes again. Go triple M, go Adira.
Yeah, I guess you're saying, if you're involved in that one. But also, I want to talk about this Tesla trade because I did not win on this Tesla trade, but this was, I can live with this because I stuck to my plan and I waited. And yeah, here we go. I want to talk about it. So we got that 90 MA bounce. Like I said, I wanted to see us have those higher highs. Got involved. Okay, price. Not my favorite price I got involved out here. 216.78. I was like, okay, we'll take out part of 217. We'll wait. We'll keep a small piece for the dream, which, like I said, I don't usually like to dream in Tesla, but I did really like that setup, and I liked how well we were holding that. If we got below 50s, we get out. We did, I did. There you go. Ooh. I have not gone into a short yet, though. As I said, if we break below 50s, I'm interested in that short. But you know what Tesla's actually telling me? Is it's in a weird, on the book, a bizarre 50 penny. 50, it's Tesla, it's not gonna be perfect. It's 50 to 60 penny range. Top of range, 216.90s. Bottom of range, about 216.40s to 216.30s. I'm not shorting that range though, because if Tesla breaks 217,
Neil,
Tesla's
sir.
going to break 217. So I do not want any of that smoke. Like Tesla breakout smoke, not the type of smoke I want. So we're going to be cognizant of that. That being said, I still like this as a long, like look at the little roundy bottom I'm seeing. I just need a better point of entry. If we come back to 50s, hold 50s, smaller position, I'm willing to build into it. I know, I can't believe I'm saying that. What, Adara, you're not book scalping Tesla, soccer, blah. There will still be elements of that to this trade, but I really like the chart setup on this, even though that's not what I was going for. So, and like I said, my plan for Tesla was just to wait till I trusted myself. And in that way, I would say I followed my plan. So, gonna wait on that. CMG, CMG, you want me to short you again? Are you serious? Like, I don't know, because CMG, I did already just get that burrito, and we got some guac on that. I was pretty happy with that trade. I don't want to rush into a new CMG trade. That being said, lower highs, lower lows. I don't love these bottoming tail candles. I'm going to wait to see what we do here at 49.90s, because that was where that previous wick was. Using the previous wick and candle levels worked for me last time, and again, no guarantee that will be perfect. I understand that, but that's an area I'm going to be watching out for. If we keep projecting 75s, I'll start building a position at 90s, but I do not want to rush. I don't want to take a trade that went well and then crumble a chip all over it and get it all greasy and weird. So let's see if Chipotle hopefully doesn't chip my P&L should I take it again. But EW, Edward Live side, I want to take a long here at the 90 MA. We're bouncing off the 90 MA. I'm going to wait a little bit because these are red candles, but these are red candles with one bottoming tail candle, and they're very doji-ish, doji-esque. I see a potential pattern continuation, to which I say I would like all the smoke. Plus, it's giving you a clear risk level, 63. Why? Hold dollar level, also some chop and some churn, resistance support. That's my take here on Edward Life Sciences, so I might make a life choice to get involved. Tesla, I'm still watching you too, though. Do not feel like you've got me off the hook there. How are you doing?
Good. Short softy. Looking to wet my beak here on some profits. Fill me? No, you're not going to fill me? Fill me? No, it's not going to fill me, Adara. I know, Ram, I should have asked nicely now. Likely you'll get stopped out now. No! All right, well, whatever. We'll have to watch what I'm going short softy at 424. There's a whole lot of chop and churn at 424, but the future is trying to weasel its way and maintain its levels above that 100-point level. So we're going to need a bit of a flush here on said future in order to wet our beak on some profits. But let's see if this softy will reject 424 and weasel its way back down. I'm waiting around the $0.50 there for some profits. I'm seeing umpteen amount of topping tail candles on softy, but that doesn't mean they have to continue. And that doesn't mean that doesn't flush without stopping me out. So looking at this one, packing my patience on MSFT. I'm also seeing a really negative candle coming on Apple right now as it also rejects 218. So interesting look on the future right now. Interesting look obviously on the Mag 7, trying to work off these tops. I do have some levels from Microsoft that I charted yesterday. I didn't look at them a whole lot today. I just want to see if they're still in play. But there does seem to be a bid on the book. Every time we dip down in the lower 70s, mid 60s, we are being bought up. But for how long? And the topping tails really haven't stopped at the moment. So keep an eye on that. I want to shout out Scott H for one hell of a trade on SERV. My man, you did well. He was saying I've been in this for a hot minute, and this one is still going. I got this one at 14.40, and then we wrote it into the 60s, but this now is in 16s. This is really going here. I yelled to Neil. I'm like, Neil, you got to look at SERV, and it's flying through 16, just printed above the $0.25 or thereabouts. This one has got all sorts of legs, and the tape is really starting to move now. Let me just check what the volume is now. Now we're at basically more than 46.5 million shares traded on the day right now as this really picks up. Scott was saying something about NVIDIA, investing into it. I don't, there's so many things happen on a daily basis around here. It's hard to remember everything. So bang on softy as we get that one. That's a good trade there. Take 30 pennies. Let's see if we can wet our beak some more on the soft one, but it's still doing the dance at 424, not rejecting it, but the future is not showing you any higher highs. So I'm not going to get out of this trade. I'm still got a little bit left. Let's see if we can wet our beak on some more stuff. Scott H, SERV 16 break, bang, bang, bang. Shout out to Scott H there. I got my eyes on it. Don't you worry. I've been seeing what SERV, where the hell did I put it? There. Nope. There it is. Wow, there it goes, 16.5. It's going on the way to 16 2/3. The strength is real in serve. It's serving up some profits for whoever's trading it there. I thought you might like that one.
I did,
But that
yeah.
was a little easy. That one's a little on the nose. Not your quality standards. I know you have
I
higher
don't know
standards.
how
Yeah, get out of here,
mine are.
Ram.
But thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, we're covering soft one. Boom. We'll take more. We'll take 40 pennies on that one. Very happy with this trade. What are you doing?
Please just punch for your trade. I got involved in Edward Life Sciences. Not saying ew quite yet, that we are a few pennies out of the money, but Tesla, I'm gonna wait till I see something else here. I don't want, probably a little bit chasey here. I was seeing that we were holding the 217.17, so I was like, okay, cool, Adara, like get involved. So I got involved there in the long. I said, we'll see what we do. If 217's when you're gonna start to panic a bit, and then where things are gonna get real dicey though, is if we break below that 216.90. Why? Because 216.90 was a massive area of resistance on the book earlier. So I was like, if we can't hold that, that's gonna be bad. We broke below 90s, I got out, so I can live with that trade. But EW here, is it making me say ew a little bit? Yeah, it's making me like, eh. But yeah, so basically I still stand by this trade in theory. I think the thesis here was we'll get a 90 MA bounce. I'm not really seeing anything to not confirm that yet. We're holding up at 63s very nicely. The plan will be to piece out some pieces if we get the ability to do so. I'm risking about 30 pennies and I want to make minimum 30. So for my risk reward ratios, I recognize that's a little bit smaller, but I usually do more like tape scalping than the chart scalps. I'm still working, or not chart scalps, chart trades. So I'm still working on that kind of risk to reward elements. We do have Tesla bouncing off 50s. I'm torn here on Tesla because I don't want to be obsessed love with it all day. But that being said, if there are levels I owe it to myself to take those levels. I should have been way more on it when I saw that 216.50, and I was not. That's an L for me, putting the L in TSLA. But the processes in general, the fact that I got back in it and stuck with it, I'm seeing levels I like. We're gonna keep watching that Cybertruck babysitting it, petting its smooth, silky silver exterior. So let's see. I think I disturbed Sharif there. Apologies, but
Obi got a chuckle out of it. So
also Obi with the double entendres today. I'm just gonna clap because.
Yeah, that was
a lot. That was intense. I appreciated the commitment. I also appreciate you, Edward Life Sciences, as I'm stroking the Cybertruck trade that I'm not even involved in. Edward Life Sciences pops back up here. Please stop waffling. If you want me to get out Edward Life Sciences, just tell me. Just let me know. Give me the Chipotle style that the CEO was talking about.
I love it.
Also, the Chipotle short, that's upsetting. I got really into that Edward Life Sciences move and what we saw with Tesla. I ignored the Chipotle short, but I'm still watching that. What are other people looking at here? RTX flat top, says Andy Frank. I know RTX, that was an earnings play as well from yesterday. So RTX, is X gonna mark the spot on RTX? RTX, this looks a little rounded toppy to me, but, and I see why this is I agree with which way do we go, because we had this gorgeous move up here. We bounced off the 90 MA, and then we were very stagnant here at 115.15s. But what's interesting here too is that we have bottoming tail candles. I would say see what we do with the 90 MA, not just because it's the 90 MA, but look at this level we had earlier, that 115 bounce. If we bounce off 115s, I would see if we can clear 115.15s. If not, that to me does look like maybe a bit of a change in the tide. EW, honestly, I'll scalp you out for 2 pennies if you just don't want to go up. I just need this thing to make up its mind, and the 3-minute chart is giving me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. But what are you looking at?
I'm looking at Softy. As quickly as it rejected off 424, as quickly as it was able to bounce off 423, and I swear I almost hit that enter button. I want to take that one long and then right back up. But look at all these candles of indecision showing you basically an equilibrium at the moment between buyers and sellers. This is kind of what it looks like. So good look. I mean, it's trying to keep the market up. I think Softy is definitely the best name bull-wise. I know Meta's up more, 2.42, but that was really more of a gap up overnight than really any after the bell price action. Like you can see over here, where when a $4 range on Meta, it's a $400 name. So good luck for both the names. I'm still interested in the range on MSFT if it continues to give it to me, because we're still not making new highs on the future. And as a result, Microsoft hasn't been able to propel itself through 424 with any real vigor. I mean, the breaks of 424 have been all quite anemic. Even the high day still in place, the one that we put in earlier at the IB high, 424.27. So it's a good look. Now, you are seeing some winds of change now, possibly on some of the Mag 7, as the future is putting incrementally higher highs, but locally, not on the the wider time frame. Like if you're looking at area crests, we definitely need to get above that 19.1 and 2/3 on a closing basis to say, okay, you've put in higher lows and now you've put in higher highs. So you can feel kind of the winds of change coming in. The reason I say that is look at Tesla above closing now, above the 10 exponential. So I think Adara absolutely had that idea accurate, blowing through 217 on its way to 218 at the volume weighted average price, which is essentially 218.10, but be on the lookout for this area trough over here at 217 3/4. We're very close to it. We're at 2/3 right now. That is the area where we rejected right at that 935 and then bounced up right into that 221 area. So Tesla curling, and you can see that on NVIDIA as well. It also breached the 10 exponential on its way to the 20. Last time it did the same thing and it rejected off the 20. This time though, we have a higher low, not a lower low. So that's a bit different, if you're looking for differences here. And then, Apple's still definitely doing its thing with the range. Meta has had issues with 465 all dang day, save and except for that opening range break into 468.27. That was the IB high, but we haven't been up there. We were there for like a second. But you can see 465 been an elusive level to break today on Meta, but the higher lows are quite telling for what may come. All right, Softy breached that high a day. It got into 424.49. Prior to that, it was 27s. So the higher highs are now in play. It is above the IB high. Shout out to Dan the Man Emmons, who always talks about that. Be on the lookout here, I would say, for a possible continuation long. But as I say that, I see the future reject off 158 rather than breaking 163 or 161 where it topped out last time. But that could be just super local and we could be continuing up. So I'm going to stay on my hands here and not trade for a second until I see how the futures resolves. And right now it looks like it's headed to the downside again. So I don't really see a whole lot of change in trend. We'll see though, if we break that 19.1, do we make a newer low below the 90 area? Because last time we held above 90 with 3 or 4 bottoming tail candles showing you buyer exuberance. So looking at that, let's flip to the small cap gappers and see what's up. NWL has been really the best small cap gapper in my estimation because it's been very directional and very predictable in how it trades. Look at that hold off the 10 exponential. And even when you ranged, you didn't break down, you didn't zig and zag. It doesn't look like there is a whole lot of bamboozlement on that. That could change though, absolutely. NWL, I'll give you the details on this one super quick if I can. This is Newell Brands. Obviously, it's not a small cap gapper, excuse me. It is about $3 2/3 billion market cap, having traded 12.8 million shares on the day, 413 million share float. And let's find out what the short float is, if there is, 5.15%. And this one reported this morning. So keep that in mind. As a result, good look for it, looking to break $9, up 39% and change. That's really the only one, this one and MMM, which we know is not a small cap gapper. Back to the future. I didn't actually mean to say that. But back to the actual futures analysis over here. And look at Microsoft Go. Okay, so the soft one is breaking the high day. I think Softy's the strongest name on the day, not percentage-wise, but price action-wise is continuing to go. 425 incoming. I'm going to theorize and say that this is as a result of Search GPT and its association, obviously, with OpenAI. Google, doesn't stand to benefit from that. I didn't read anything about monetizing. Did you read anything about Search GPT and monetizing? Neither did I. And I asked Brendo too. And Brendo said he didn't read anything about monetizing. So right now, just stealing market share from Google is their intention. I haven't heard anything about monetizing, but you got to assume they're going to do it at some point.
No, that would make sense, yeah. Speaking of things that don't make sense, I don't know, but this Tesla, I'm a little bit miffed at myself. So, yeah, cool, Adara, you called the rounded bottom, you played it wrong twice, whatever, right? Why? Okay, to be clear, I understand why I shorted this. I do get why I shorted this. I got short Tesla 217.50 because we were getting kind of stagnant in the book. And also, if you look at this previous area of support,
yeah, that's what I said.
To me, right, you said the same thing. I didn't think it was a bad idea. I took it with literally the smallest amount of shares one can take. It was more of just like a getting the reps in type trade. Obviously didn't work. I was able to get out, lost 35 pennies. I'm not going to say, oh, it's like the best moment of my life, whatever. But I think this is huge because I think sometimes it really, maybe you need more evidence. I don't know. I'm conflicted on this because I am happy I took it in principle. I just think I also want to be cognizant of the fact there could have been potentially a little bit of FOMO-y action in there. And I say that because, of course, of the whole, tried to take this long twice on the way up, did not work out either time, even though the idea was right. EW also falling a little bit here, so come on, sir. Come on, get back up. Like I said, I'm giving this to 63s. Let's see what it does here at 63s. This was a topping tail candle. Arguably should have scalped out earlier. And I think this is like, sometimes you have to have things happen a lot before it's like a big, like, giant flashing sign in your head, like, do not do this. Adara, when you use price levels as you're out in your stop, things almost inevitably get dicey. So I definitely trust myself a little bit more on the book, even though this wasn't a planned book scalp or book trade. I still think there were things on the book and on the chart screaming, Adara, leave, Adara. So I need to be cognizant of that. But I'm not, I'm always still in a great mood here. The markets are moving, and I'm here. I'm always happy to be here. That's honestly the truth of it. So let's see what you still have to have that confidence. You cannot let the market will try to take your confidence. The market will try to rob you of those dollar signs floating around Sean's head. Certainly it will. We're getting out here of this, I can't even say the name of the ticker now, Edward Life Sciences. So yeah, that was not the time of my life sciences, but it's all good there, baby. You just got to keep going. And if it wants to give me a 9 EMA rejection short, I'll take that too. CMG curling higher.
Holy.
I like CMG here. Chipotle, like I said, I was like, I missed like the other short opportunity. But now Chipotle looks like it's curling for a long. Look at that massive bottoming tail candle. We cannot break below 49.50. Now what I need to see is going to be the same impetus for the Chipotle long I attempted yesterday. If it bounces off the 9 EMA and I continue to see these higher highs, higher lows, that is where I will be getting involved. Come on, Chipotle. Let's give me some chip I can dip in there. Good times. I'm watching also the 9 EMA and the $63 area for an ew short, because that first trade had me say ew at myself. But you never say ew to this market. You just got to keep going.
Adara, the market is trying to break out here, but Microsoft certainly is breaking out. What a move by the soft one through the 425 area. Forget about 424 where I was trying to short this. 425 came in. It got blown through. Now I'm looking for a pullback. We are above that 19,160 level on the future. So we've made higher lows now, higher highs. We're still, we're positive on the day. We're up 0.91, almost 1%. But that pales in comparison to the Dow, which is up 1.5. We're actually above the Russell. Oh, baby. We're competing with the Russell. I didn't think I'd actually say that with a straight face before, but that's how these markets are. They change. The winds of change come, and now the Russ is in vogue, and the NASDAQ is taking the back seat for now, or so everyone says. And Microsoft is continuing to go. Here's the $0.50. That's a high a day right now. This thing is on the way up. So is the future. The Mag 7 are all curling up. NVIDIA's above the 20. Tesla's above VWAP. Apple's going on 219. Amazon broke out through that 182 range. Everything's... I don't even know what I'm saying. Meta is about 465. Beautiful move there. This had trouble with 465 all morning, saving except for that opening print. So good strength here. And the only one that really isn't going, well, maybe Tesla as well, is Goggles. Goggles is all sorts of anemic right here, really not benefiting from that market pump, still below the closing print from yesterday and below that 50 exponential, which it showed it's had trouble with today, 166.50 generally there. Do we get this continued pump? Are we going to break through 19.2? Because we're quite close, 23 points or so to 19.2. We have this topping tail candle there at 10:30 that rejected 19.2. So we definitely had some selling, no question about that, at that level. Keeping an eye on the future right now, keeping an eye on the Mag 7 to see whether or not we get that continuity, or whether, this is a short, it's a more of a prolonged up move, and we're still going to get short anyway at some point. So keeping an eye on the future, keeping an eye on the Mag 7. Let's quickly look at some other names. Newell still continuing to go, knocking on the door of $9. Triple M decidedly now above 123 at that $0.0002. So good look there. What happened to my SCRV? There it is. I don't know why I didn't have this on.
Did it serve you a divorce paper?
No, I didn't serve it well by not putting it on there. Divorce paper. I'm not married to it, but yeah, I like it. It's all good. 60s.
I'm not married to it. Punception.
Hey, bang. So the whole point is try to keep an eye on this one. It did defend 15, and that was actually an interesting level for it. This is the 5-minute look on ACRV. I hope Scott H is printing up a storm on this because $15 was certainly an area of support. How much did you need to give it? Not even 15 pennies. It dipped into 87s, 14.87. So it breached 15 by a whole 13 pennies. I hope that that was enough for anyone to put their stop in and to print on this one. But SCRV serving its traders very well in here.
Okay, I gotta give you applause for the puns, but also, guys, whatever stock you want to see, you might see this little thing in the comment. It's a bar. It says, what stocks you want to see? Ask something. Press on ask something. Then you can ask something. Ask your ticker, put it in there. Please get involved. Oh, show it to them. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Oh, no, and I just closed all my charts. Okay, so as you can see here, what stocks you want to see? Ask something. I'll say Tesla. Put it in there. Guys, look how easy that is. And then it says question sent. So go and make sure you ask something and don't close all your charts in the process and get involved. So ask something, whatever ticker you want.
Pretty cool.
When it says ask the question, please do that, guys. That is the new voting procedure. So definitely, please use that. I am gonna have, before looking at any charts,
that's
apparently, yeah, I have to reopen my charts. Oh, it's in testing. It's in progress. Sorry, guys. I just accidentally did close all my charts, but I can talk about my Tesla scalp because I'm proud of that.
I can take over while you do your thing.
Okay. I want to talk. I took like 20 pennies on this Tesla bounce here off VWAP. I'm interested in getting back involved if this keeps bouncing, but man, that is a bearish candle if I've ever seen one here, coming in on T to the S to the L to the A. Groff pointing out Tesla is making a bit of a recovery, especially on the 15 after that consolidation. That's a fair point. I think Tesla, that 20s area was pretty interesting. We broke below 20s now. I don't know why, but I've noticed Tesla at the fifth of a dollar, to use a Sharifism with the fractions there.
Hey, I know. People
has been interesting as of late. I don't know why that is. It's just you watch a lot of Tesla tape and book and you notice areas. That's one area I have noticed for TSLA as of late. If we get a bit of a bounce off 20s, I'll be tempted to take a position. I took less shares on this, though more shares than I took on that short because I was like, let's wait, let's see. But yeah, basically, the moral of the story is trust yourself when possible. I had a plan for this too. I was ready to add if we got into that 2.8, if we held at 217.80s. We didn't even have to do that, so it's all good there, baby. Tesla, you want me to trade you again? Once I get my charts up, that might be an option. So I'm going to throw it to you while I get my charts up.
Yeah, of course. So Zion used the old way to vote. He hit that exclamation point, join, $, and the ticker. That's not how we're doing it anymore, at least not today. We are in the testing phase. Look at the top of your chat. Right here, guys. So Zion Lala, one of the small cap traders extraordinaire. So this black rectangle or whatever this is on the top, you click that bad boy. What stocks do you want to see? Ask something. I'm going to go ahead and say NVDA because it's weak, baby. It's headed back down. NVDA, we're going to put that. And then question sent. So Ram, is it going to tally all the questions? Like, so, for example, if I put NVIDIA, and other people in NVIDIA, is going to be like, oh, there's 20 questions about NVIDIA. How's it going to work, Ram? Okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. Shout out to her. Absolutely sounds like they have it down pat there. So we'll keep eyes on that. So I'm looking now at we're looking like we're getting some selling here. Meta's at 466 and Microsoft's at 426. I wonder if this will be an interesting area to get in. I want to get in at around 425 for a dip if Microsoft was going to continue up. I see the 10 exponential actually at 424 and a third, so maybe 424 and a half, but that's quite a bit a ways off where we are right now. But that's all right. I'm seeing some weakness come in on the Mag 7. I want to say that, initially I was talking about Google being the weakest. It's not bad. It's still negative. It rejected topping tail candle off 166, but look at this move on NVIDIA. Right? We got all sorts of strength, and then it breaches the 20 exponential, comes into that area of technical resistance at 13 and 2/3. Basically, this area bottom over here and rejects. So it doesn't make it up to the VWAP, doesn't make it up to the 50, breaches the 20. So if you were trying to use moving averages there, you got bamboozled. Thankfully, I didn't trade this one. Apple weaseled its way up into almost 219, 218.89 or so. It's back at the $0.50 now. Apple looking to recover here off the lows of 216, now 218.5, looking to break that 219.15 high. I'm still keeping my eye, though, on Microsoft because it's not making new highs. I want to see if it can come back down for a better entry. Now, how how much do I want to see the future retrace, you know, in order to be like, okay, well, the trend is still healthy. We'll have to see at this half point, this 150 point level. There was a lot of interaction with this 150 point level as a level of resistance. So if we come back into it and hold it, I'm going to use 19,150 as a possible level of support. It's not an exact area or exact price, sorry, it's a general area. You can see we had multiple topping tails through it, but when you look at the closing prints, they're all south of that 19,150. So if we come back into it, I'm going to use it as supported area.
Yeah, sorry, to be saying there. Yeah, so my charts are back up, and I did go back to Chipotle, and I ordered a burrito bowl, and they said, what size would you like? And I said, extra large. And then I did the little thing that the Chipotle CEO tells you to do if you want more protein or whatever. You got to give them the little look. Anyways, I like this trade because I like the 90 MA bounce. Now, the thing that I realized after that had me kind of go Homer Simpson, whatever, is this topping tail candle. That is not a great look. We do still generally have lower lows, but we have a bit of an uptrend here, and we are very bullish, bouncing off the 49.50-esque area. I'm waiting to see if we can bounce here off 60s. I'm cool staying in this trade. I intentionally added at the 90 MA because when I was in that previous short, that 74 area was super spicy, pun intended, because Chipotle. Actually, it wasn't, but I'll go with it. But I like this look here, and honestly, I was a little bit hesitant to re-enter this trade, especially with more size, because I was like, but Tara, you already had to trade in Chipotle. You can't trade P&L. You have to trade progress and learning. If I like this trade, I owe it to myself to take this trade, and that's why I am still interested in going after Tesla if it gives me stuff I like, because I've noticed, that's why I hit my P&L, and I know I've lost, from the Chipotle was my first trade of the day. That went well, and then we got a little bit shaved there on Tesla, a little bit of a nick from the good old Tesla razor. But this Tesla here, topping tail candles, but we are bouncing on the book. I like 20s. We're going to start building a position here at 20s. This was a level I mentioned earlier today, and also a level that, as I said, that I think has been kind of confluency. That's not a word. Apologies to Obi for, ruining that word
there. We'll get very upset with that.
I know, right? But I like this look here in Tesla. I do find it to be a bit confluency at the 20s. I'm willing to add if we get to 218 flats. If we break below that previous support area I liked at 217.80s, that's where I'm going to get out. But because it's me, we will be getting a little bit chop and churn with it. I want to be taking some pieces out, keeping some pieces back in. Is this how I normally trade Tesla? No. But I'm comfortable with it because I have been still faithfully reading the book on this, like a little avid reader at the library, flipping through those pages. So I feel confident enough in the levels to be okay with this trade. If we get into, what is this, we're going to take 59s. If we can get into 59s, I'm going to take some out, and then I'm willing to add if we come back in. I have levels I like, and I trust myself.
Get it,
and I have confidence.
Get it.
And hopefully there will be things to get, Sharif. As we get that Chipotle, it's breaking his little burrito shell a little bit. I wish we could clap for Chipotle, Sharif, but Chipotle does not deserve my applause.
I'm just clapping for your
right
enthusiasm because it's ridiculous. I love coming in every day.
Go Markets.
Yeah, man, straight up. Honestly, if you're being around people who are enthusiastic definitely brings up my spirits. I don't know how y'all feel, but that's how I feel. So I'm going to express it when I can. So here we go. We're long on the soft one. I already wet my beak on some profits. I'm looking also at defending the $0.50. So I'm going to add at the $0.50, and I'm going to give it really tight room because you can see here we've been bouncing off said $0.50. I think this was a healthy pullback for the soft one. So I'm looking to get in. I already got in, what am I saying? And I wet my beak, but I want some more profits and some more size. So if we can defend said $0.50, I already have an order to go long at 57s. I'm going to defend it through the break of 44. So let me just make sure that I have my stop. I do. Yes, I do. So the stop is in place. What is that? 425.57. Oh, yeah, that's the one. Why is that a stop? Why is that a script stop? That's weird. All right, so continuing to watch Softy over here, back into the 90s. All right, now we're breaking above 426. That's not what I wanted. I wanted it to dip back down, so I'd add more. All right, so we're doing the dance right here. Okay, good. We're not breaking 426 decisively here, still zigging and zagging. 426.20 is the high of the day. I want to add more shares if we can dip into the $0.50, but that's not happening for me at the moment. The market feels strong now, though, as we weasel our way back into 19.2, and the soft one looks like it wants to break, and it is going. There goes Microsoft into the high side. It still hasn't breached the high of the day. That's still a fifth of a dollar. Let's see if we can get that continuity, but you feel like the bid is coming in in on the Mag 7 name. So it's about what we get into. We're already in the soft one. I see 2 hammer candles also on META. Well, this one, if it closes this way, will be a hammer candle, but this one is, and it's at a key area of technical resistance. It is resistance level 1 on pivots, and it's dancing at it right now. 466.50 is that general area there. So we'll keep tabs on that. What is the soft one doing? Are we getting that continuity? We're still doing the dance with no pants with 426. It breaches it, but then you can see that wall of selling come in to keep it down below that level. But I feel like the bid is a little bit overwhelming here for the ask as we incrementally get higher and higher on Microsoft. And there it is. We'll take that one. Nice 35-penny winner there. Brendo sending me a headline with respect to Xpeng. Let's talk about that. Xpeng to launch robo-taxi model in 2026, CEO says. What is the Peng doing? Let's have a look at it real quick. Xpeng moving up bigly, 5 2/3 to the high side. The Chinese ADR is absolutely in a full state of pamp right now. Let's let XPEV, Sharif, let's go. It trades on the New York boys, 870 HOD, printing back down into 65s. There's the volume spike. Let's see if we have that headline. I don't have it actually on my blotter. So that comes in from Brendo, but I don't have it. So fantastic look there. That's why we work as a team. And that is the look. So we'll keep an eye on XPEV. See if it comes down back down to 850 to defend that obvious area top. I'll be going longer there.
Yeah, so Chipotle is, I don't think it really, like the person ordering doesn't really know what they want. Like, do they want a little bit of like what the carnitas? Do they want the sofritas? Do they want like the chicken? I don't know, they're chicken spicy for me. But this CMG trade, what I'm trying to say is a little bit wiffle waffly. Why am I still in it then? I said I wanted that 60s bounce. And honestly, to me, this is a pushback moment because look at this. Look where we had that bounce previously. Previous low of days. This is around what, like we'll say like just below 50s. That's accurate. Then we get a wick there, we bounce, and we make a higher high. Look what we saw happening again there.
What?
I call it confluence, because that happened the same thing twice. Oh, sorry, I got really aggressive, guys. We had this low here, which is the candle, next to that candle we wicked by. That's going to be 60s. We come up here. We have a bit of a bearish candle, mind you. You know, I was a little bit hesitant about it, but then we come back here and we bounce once again. While I'm in it, I'm like, do I have to press out? And Chipotle's like, no, the store's still open. You have 10 more minutes. Grab your burrito. So I did. Right now, we're not rolling in any profits. We're not rolling that burrito in any profits, but we're going to have to see how this goes. I think one of the best parts of trading that I'm still trying to get used to is things change so quickly. You've got to be ready for all the smoke, because the smoke can come in your face. It could like choke you out a little bit there. The smoke can, miss you entirely. So you just got to be ready there, waiting in the breeze with your burrito, for the case of this analogy. So let's see how this one goes. Gaurav mentioning Rivian. So let's see what direction Rivian's revving. That being said, by the way, to finish my Chipotle analysis, I don't really love this 90 EMA rejection we're seeing. So if I can't get another bounce here right quick, I think I will have to bounce out of Chipotle right quick. Maybe go to a different restaurant. No, I'm joking. But Rivian here, up about 4%. Nice volume in RIVN. We have a bit of a rounded bottom here. And also, the volume candles are rounded bottom. So to me, we talk about volume, increasing your confidence in a mood. In a move, not a mood. Rivian, this volume is a mood because it shows you, much like what we have with the candles, as we get higher, as we push higher, the volume pushes back up. I like this. And also sounds like you are not feeling the pain in Xpeng.
We're going to try it, Dara. I mean, it's very small size. I just want to participate so that we can kind of just get involved with the trade over here. Xpeng 6.10. We know, though, that the ADRs, there is a political headwind for these. So even though, the balance sheet may look good, this and that, politics really trumps the balance sheet over here. So we'll see if this one can continue to pump or we get a mean reversion right back down. So keeping an eye on this one. Long 77 is looking to add at 68. The trade ends if it doesn't hold this general area at 65, stops at 64. So, we're just participating, having some fun on this bad boy. But the real trade, well, I don't want to disrespect Xpeng, but the real trades that are happening right now, baby, the future is on the way up. 19,200 just got breached, and the Mag 7 are all on the way up, well, except NVIDIA. NVIDIA's asleep, below the 10, below the 20, below VWAP, below the 50. It's barely positive on the day. To go negative, it has to break 112.25. It's at 113 right now, so very much nearer the bottoms than its high a day. Amazon printed new high a day. Meta's on the way to the high. Microsoft set a new high. Apple's weaseling its way into 219 again, and Tesla about to take that 220. It's at 219 and a third. Even Goggles has awoken and wants to break that 167. It's actually putting in higher lows, GOOGL. Good recovery for them. All right, here we go. So we're out of part of the position on XPeng, so it's going to have to hold this area here, or I'm breaking. If it breaks 60, that's going to be the end of the trade. So we'll give back a little bit there as we get stopped out on XPNG. Let's see if it can hold 60. If it can, I'll take it back north. If it can't, then it's a mean reversion. And yes, the reversion is mean. Shout out to the OB. He is the one. And he's sitting next to me.
And he's in the chat now, guys. He's in the chat now. He introduced himself by saying, I have arrived.
He couldn't do it in the morning.
Period.
The chat didn't want him. Ram had to help him this morning because he was not being allowed to talk, even though he's a sub. It's a sub-only chat. We already know that, right? So Ram had to get involved, and, she helped him out. What are you looking at?
Yeah, so Chipotle, which I will be calling the spicy one because we have names for our stocks. Every time I'm like, oh, Chipotle, I really need to go. It's like, no, I can make the burrito faster. It's okay. I'm like, okay. But this is why I feel very bamboozled by Chipotle. We have these, Chipotle, you're going to give me that? Oh, yeah. I see you, girl. I see you. Look at these bottoming tail candles. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3. Are we below the 90 MA? Sure. But we are bouncing like crazy off of this level that we've already bounced off of twice now. We're trying to bounce off of it a third time. I would be adding around that 65 area, but I don't want to add till I have some more of the position out. This is a bit of a larger burrito for me. Took a few more shares because I really felt good about this trade. Again, like, within responsibility, like it's only a large amount of shares by my standards, but I feel like if you do have confidence, you must go after what you want. And in this case, I want that burrito. So let's see how this goes. You're on Chipotle. Also, I've been trying to short Edward Life Sciences here. Like I said, this is so upsetting. Look when it wicks into your area, and then it's like, nah, I'd rather not. So I like Edward Life Sciences, as I said, it's a $63 area and a 90 MA short, and it's giving you confidence with both of those. Look at this. Is this a Head and Shoulders I see? Kind of a weird lopsided head, but we don't judge. We love everybody over here. So let's see how this goes. I want to see if this can hit. I'm taking less shares with this than I was going to take with the initial trade. I'm also, if I'm not going to get that exact price area, I'm willing to start at 85s and add it at 9. You know what? I am going to do that. Smaller position, 85s, and then if I see something I like at 90s, I'll get out. If I see any kind of, clinging with, I don't know what that face was. We bite down and cling with our teeth above that 3063 area. If we start bouncing off the 90 MA, that's going to be a no-go for me. But until I see that, I'm going to be staying involved in this trade. Simple AF Trading saying, film that CMG orders. That is a reference to how people were filming the Chipotle people, I was going to say baristas, making their orders because they were like, oh, they're not giving us enough portions. And that's why the guy had to make the video where he was like, if you want more, you just have to go. So yeah, so I shout out to you, Simple Trading. As someone who was following and then made Sharif watch some of the videos of the Chipotle saga, it is really funny. But yeah, I appreciated that because I think I am probably the target audience for that joke as well. CMG for long term says Trump 2024. Yeah, in the chat, shout out to you. I was a little bamboozled by that name. Yeah, I think we're certainly at a dip. I think higher highs and higher lows are great, but you know what else is great is?
I didn't know you were so political there, Dara. Neil's ready for the lesson of the day, guys.
Welcome to your lesson of the day. Sometimes, with Darren Sharif make me chuckle too, but I want to talk about sometimes you have a great idea, or look, one of the first ideas that you come up with, one of the first levels that you're in love with, one of the first stock trades, or just concepts, you're like, that's the thing I love when I sit down. And you'll have a directional bias typically on that stock. Like you'll come in and say, maybe I like Tesla the short today, or maybe you like Microsoft long. It all kind of starts with that. But sometimes you'll have that initial idea and something happens and it's important for you to be able to get away from it. And I think two things that can be trouble. One, fighting what the market is telling you is always a bad thing. But then two, not being willing to take a trade that goes against your original thinking if that's what's presenting itself. So you need to have a little bit of that into your toolbox. And I'm going to use the example of Alphabet today because, you had the, I will call it the bad news with the ChatGPT, Search GPT yesterday. Then you throw in the fact that it was the biggest move to the downside in the afternoon when everything else bounced. This ended up holding going all the way back into its lows. Most things that bounced and had the V-shaped recovery, held some of those highs, or at least held some higher lows, something along those lines, instead of giving everything back. Well, Google gave it all back. I came in, I think it's a little bit weak, so that's the premise that I'm working with, and I'm looking for a short at the open. Well, lo and behold, short at the open happens. I'm looking at other names at the time. It's par for the course. NVIDIA, AMD were the first two things I wanted. Candidly, Ford as well, right? So those are the three things we ended up short, and there's just no chance to get in. Now, oftentimes you're like, what's the next available trade? Short back in VWAP, still trending down. That happens as well. I don't get any of those shorts when it retests the low. But a funny thing happens at the low of the day on Alphabet. It retakes the bottom, and you get this strong candle right into the number back into VWAP. Preceding that, you get a higher low and a higher low and a rounded top. Now, if you're bearish on a stock that goes into the opening range resistance, probably want to short it, right? But that's not what the market was telling me in the moment on Alphabet. What it was telling me was it had found a bottom, put in a higher low, kind of like an inverted head and shoulders, then another higher low into the same level in a bullish reversion. And at the same time, I'm just going to pull up Microsoft because I happen to have Microsoft up. At the same time, you're getting everything else curling and breaking out. Like, okay, well, maybe it's just going to play a catch-up trade a little bit here. And if you're only stuck with the I think Google is a short today and that's it, that's my trade, there's almost no chance you're going to listen to all of these other things telling you that it might be something else. And sometimes you just have no choice but to do that. If a stock is going against your thesis, you got to be willing to go in the other direction if everything lines up. Now, had this held on to VWAP, it could have still made that bottom, and it could have tried to put in a higher low. It could have rejected VWAP, and maybe it stays a short. And there's a difference between that and here, like say NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA, at no point, and of course I got out of it multiple times, sometimes for losses, most of the times for wins today. NVIDIA also made a wipeout bottom that held a higher low. But at the end of the day, it was just different. You're still trending into the downside. My thesis was if we didn't get 117, then we look for a join the short instead of a shorted up at the top, but you just trend down underneath VWAP all day. So what do? You join the trend. There's a difference between those two things. And the best part about it is if you still like the short, find where the short is working. Don't just hone in on the one stock that you wanted to trade. I'll give you another example of that. I've been between three names today. The market's at the highs. So this is the NASDAQ. Market's back at the high of the day. I'm in another chip short. It's not NVIDIA this time. It's not every time I missed AMD this morning, I would go over to NVIDIA and vice versa. AMD just broke out VWAP. So I'm not in NVIDIA right now. I'm not in AMD. Anyone watching the morning show should know I'm going to be in something which is still setting up the same premise that I wanted before. ARM. So another stock in here, still holding underneath the 150, still holding underneath VWAP, still finding resistance. Now I'm having to scalp it. Why? Because if ARM gets back over 150, it's a breakout trade as well. So you've got to make sure that you're only staying in things or with things that are following your initial plan. The second it stops making any sense to you, don't let it do this, like what happened there yesterday. You can short on the way back up as long as it's holding to a pattern that you like. But you've got to be able to get out of the way. It's easy enough to say, hey, Microsoft is strong, it's trending up. It bounced off a double bottom from yesterday, made a higher low and a higher low and a higher low, and it just keeps on going. That's the easy part sometimes of trading if you happen to be watching it. A lot of times things are going to be a little bit more subtle, where it's going to be like a rounded bottom. It still looks pretty bearish, but it's just enough to get you that curl and potential breakout trade. The other thing I want to point out here is, we're ending the lesson of the day. XPeng just retraced back into VWAP. I don't know if I'm going to be long. I was short this one into VWAP. I don't know if I'm going to be long, but I missed because I had my earpiece out, so I didn't hear the news in Benzinga. once it had got, you want to join that move, obviously. But once it had broken past like 60s and 70s, look at this wick high from a couple of days ago, 870. Then once it turns there, I only have one trade. It's either short into VWAP or it's break it out. You've got to trade what's in front of you, not what you want to have happen, not what is behind you. So if it's good news and the best trade setup for you that you like is a reversion because that's where you're at in the price, then that's the one you take. If a stock that you like short goes to a key level and breaks it out and you think that's a reversal, then you got to jump into the long if that's what is your setup. So be willing to pivot if the market gives you enough of an idea to. It's not always, this is my idea, this is the direction the stock is going, and no matter what, I'm either going to win big on that or I'm going to get shut down. If that's the only thing you're ever able to do, you're going to find some great opportunities out there, but you're going to miss some of the big reversals. Because oftentimes, it's when something that everybody is convicted in a certain direction, when that flips, you can get that explosive reversal. And you want to have that in your toolbox so long as you can find it. So once a trade no longer fits your thesis, you don't have to go back to that well just because it was working before. And on top of that, if it's telling you a reversal is in, be open to that idea. That is your lesson of the day. And let's see about this VWAP here on XPeng if it wants to bounce off.
We're not ready. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much, Neil. Informative, eloquent, and Neil Roberts, baby, dropping hot lines every single day around that noon hour. So make sure to be with Adair and I at Hot Trade to catch Neil's lesson of the day. So let's do a little bit of a quick analysis over here. I tried to get short on the fuge right before we got up on the TQQs to mimic the level that I like on the NQ September contract. And here's what I'm looking at right here. This is the chart. And I'm going to look at it like this as well. I just told Adair, I'm like, look, if we come back into 19,200 and bounce, this could be trouble for the shorts. But if we give way here, this is going to be one hell of a move down on the future. Reason I was looking short at this level is because of this level. That's the IB high, not the IB high, sorry. That's the reaction high from the PCE number release right at 8:30. So it says 7:30 on my chart, which is Central Time. We know that's 8:30 Eastern. So we're at break even. Break even is 19,204. I'm looking at that level as well as obviously 200, the 100 point level. But we did come here and reject. So I'm looking to see whether or not we come back down below 200, which we know is a level of resistance. It's the closing print. It's a 100-point level. So should act as support. If it doesn't here, I'm looking short both on the future and on the Mag 7. We'll see how this one ends up resolving. A V-shaped recovery, we could absolutely weasel back down. There's no need for us to pop back up. And it depends on really, I know we're technical traders here, but a lot's being said right now by analysts, by even, Tom Lee. He was saying the same thing. He thinks, we've done really well in the market. He doesn't see, a big retracement. But he thinks, we whiffle and waffle a little bit, maybe into the fall, until that election time. So we're going to have to see. And that's exactly what happened last year. Remember, who remembers July 2023? The middle of July was the high until we breached it in mid-November. So if that's kind of the look, and that's been happening a lot, the seasonality into the fall, where we sell off late summer. The year prior, it wasn't July, it was August when Jerome Powell got on the mic at what's that thing called in August?
Hole.
Thank you, Jackson Hole. And the market tanked in 2022, and we didn't recover until January of 2023. So there's always these market cycles, and I'm definitely going to keep tabs on how the tech and essentially the market indices trade from now until then. So keeping my eye on the future. It's maintaining its position right now above 19.2. There's no question about that. But for how long? So I'm not looking short, I'm not looking long. I want to see exactly how this resolves, and then we'll decide how we trade. Separately, what is continuing to curl up and now is actually green on the day, TSLA right back above that 220.25, which was the closing print quarter, fifth, whatever, closing print from yesterday. We have a couple of topping tail candles from today that went into 221 and rejected. The first one at around 9:50, the second one 10 o'clock, both topping tails and both unable to kind of weasel its way back above that 221 area. We may get a shot though at set 221 awfully soon because we are now above the $0.50 or zigging and zagging. Right now, TSLA, a gnarly recovery off the bottom, good recovery with the other names as well. I know somebody was asking me earlier about NVIDIA, and look, I don't think I have a good read on NVIDIA today other than to say I think it's not really respecting any of these moving averages, at least on the 5. I haven't looked at other time frames. What I feel it is respecting is price action, formerly support, now resistance. What is that level? This 113.5, generally you get wicks higher into the $0.75, but so you did as well when you used it as support. This is the level I'm talking about from around 9:45 till around 10:30. We defended that level at 13.5. Now we are using it as resistance. However, the other side of that coin is incrementally higher lows. Each successive trough higher than its predecessor. So this one could go. It's just late to the party, Adara, because the other ones have already went. And as I say that, I look quickly at TSLA, and lo and behold, it's now negatory again, down 0.5% after trying to weasel its way into the local high there, Adara.
How dare it be late to the party?
I don't know.
The party's waiting for it.
It likes to be fashionably late.
Yeah, but it's RSVP, sure, even they planned for it to be there, and it's late to the. All weird analogies aside, I have weirdly took a lot of trades during the lesson of the day. I wanted to get up, but I was like, Adara, you've got to babysit your burrito. So I was burrito sitting here. I was petting Chipotle's, being like, it's okay, baby, go up. No, I'm joking. But why did I stay in this? I know I said I was worried about this trade, but then I was like, Adara, look at these higher lows that you're seeing after those 3 bottoming tail candles. They exist. They are vibing and thriving. Now, have I added? No, because I want to get some out first. I want to make sure I have room in the burrito to add some more toppings before before we start taking out some toppings here. But that CMG trade is still happening. That was why I was still sitting down. But then I took a fun scalp on Tesla. Fun, not sarcastic. I can't do sarcasm. I'm so proud of this trade. So why did I take this short? Oh my God, I love this. Sometimes things just work out. I took this short because we were breaking down the 219.20s on the book. I said, Adara, try. Got short, took about 20 pennies, took it out in 2 pieces. So I did want a little bit more, but it's all good there, baby. If we bounce off that level here, 219.50s, I'm interested in a long, but we're gonna have to wait and see on that. NVIDIA got a little bit chopped up here. Lost like 10 pennies on the short, was gonna flip long, wasn't able to get filled. Again, life happens. Apple. I should not be trading Apple. I feel like, some stocks you just feel like you don't have a good read on.
You and I both.
Apple is one of those. I feel like I never have a good read on it. Lost 15 pennies. Basically, I wanted to see us continue to reject 80s. Looks like now we are. So thanks, Apple, for doing that while I was involved. Could have been a bit more patient and held it to 219s, but that's not really my style. Maybe not the type of stock for me to trade. Also, we got to go.
Absolutely. Guys, are you tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up in the market? Are you missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Well, Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before anybody else and pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Are you ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get yourself a free 14-day trial. And Adara, how is Benzinga Pro?
Very good.
Did you know I was going to ask that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I was
you
just doing
did.
yawn face.
Okay.
So that's why I took
You did a non-face. Yeah, you were not sure exactly where I was going with that.
I did yawn face. I was doing
yawn face. Okay.
But yes, that's why I wasn't sure. But yes, shout out to Benzinga Pro.
Face.
They are awesome.
They are.
And thank you very much, Benzinga. And also, I believe Ryan Faluna is going to be in the market recap with Neil and I tonight. Pretty sure.
Oh, very
from
cool.
Benzinga. So check that out.
Oh, nice. All right. There used to be a song, a soca song called Neil, what was it called? Faluna? Something like that? Come on, Neil. Don't leave me hanging like that, Neil. I look bad. I'm going to have to look that up. Because Faluma ding, 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 yam yalama ding, boko ni da da, tabadini na na. Come on, Neil, you don't know that? He knows that. Yes, get it, Ob. Get it, Ob.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
Hey,
yes.
Hey.
Obi, you like
boy.
soca?
Oh, boy.
You like soca? Soca's good? Of course it's good. Soca's awesome.
Also, apparently, just on Baba.
It's okay. Just tell me next time.
Well, no, I just noticed it now, and that's why I said it mid-yawn.
Right, go.
But yeah, apparently Baba raising fees. Thank you guys for letting us know here. And let's see if we can pull up the chart. Apologies for the yawn there.
You're good.
Alibaba, okay. BAB. Getting a nice pop up here with volume at highs of days. Great look here for Baba, apparently raising fees. So good look on that. I'm going to find some more info on that trade. But yeah, good day for Chinese ADRs, probably got weird Xpeng.
Yeah.
And Alibaba.
Get that yawn in, Adair.
Appreciate that. Some support there around 76.10s and some coffee for myself.
Yes, absolutely. I know. I've been there. We've all been there. The yawn wants to come out. It's going to come out. There's nothing you can do. So let's keep an eye out on the TQQQ. Oh, that rhymed. You're killing me, Adair. I was never like this, Adair. I really was not. I promise you I was not like this. All right, I'm looking at the future still because we are very much locally high here. We're not printing the day's high. That's at 39. But we are weaseling our way up now, and it's about what we're going to participate to the high side. Goggles is on the way up. Even NVIDIA now above the volume-weighted average price, really doing its darndest to get above that closing print. Or, sorry, that's previous day's closing. Get above that 114 level, excuse me. So good strength here on NVDA, but the soft one just bounced off the 10 exponential. I'm looking here for exactly what's got the best strength, and I'm not really impressed by anything because we're not blowing through these highs. We're still stagnant near the day's highs right now. So I'm not going to get involved in anything right now until we get some direction. I feel like we're definitely a lot nearer the highs. I saw Dan the Man Emmons as well in the chat. He's like, look, man, yeah, we're you know, we could definitely pump up like 100 more points or so from this level. So let's have a look at what the future's doing. And here it goes again. The future, okay, it's nearing high of day. Here comes that new high of day, 19,240. The future is pumping. Microsoft is on the way up. So now we're getting some green candles. NVIDIA working right into that 114. It's at 114 right now. I can kind of see it from the side screen, but this is the area that we rejected right at 8:30 today. This 19,239.40, generally that area. So I'm anticipating some selling here. Let's see if we can break it decisively because I like to go long here. It just really depends on what I'm going to go long on because we're at so many different resistance levels. At 114 on NVIDIA, the future's at resistance. Microsoft, Meta, they're all very close to that high a day. Apple, I'm definitely not taking long at these levels because it's not showing me what I want to see. So packing my patience here, trying to see, okay, we're going along the future. That's a short. Crap. All right, there we go. Yeah, no, I got out of it. It's okay, Raymer. I'm looking long here on the future. Let's see if we can get something a little bit lower. So
she just failed you. She buzzed you.
That's okay, because I didn't fail though, because I didn't actually get in the short. I hit the wrong key. That's all that I did there, Raymer. All right, so I'm looking here for continuity on the future. We're at 114 NVIDIA. I'm looking at the side charts, guys. Sorry, I'm not looking at the screen to see exactly what we're doing. It's not directional. I'm not getting involved here. I don't think this is right because I don't see what I want to see. So I'm packing my patience. What are you seeing down on your side of Darryl?
Pack that patience. Put it in its suitcase. Shout out to the suitcase that I just realized that was on screen there.
Good thing I didn't get in.
Get that suitcase. Pack that patience. Do the thing. Why? What am I doing in Edward Life Sciences? I'll tell you.
What?
I'm shorting pops.
Okay.
But I'm saving. I'm trying to build a position for some profits.
I like it.
I want to get some out at 62s. Why do I want to get out at 62s? Someone might have asked. Probably not. But I like this. 62 was a level I liked yesterday. We got a big old bounce there. So I want to secure some of the bag, some of the egg, shout out to you. But yes, we're gonna be getting out some if we get to 62s. I do not love how we bounce right below VWAP, but the bounce isn't like it's not a trampoline. It's like a little baby, like, you know, the tiny trampolines that gymnasts use. It's not a big trampoline or a bouncy castle, so I'm okay with that. Keeping an eye on my EW. If I do see, also, why did I enter where I did? I'll explain, because look at that previous support area that we resisted, 50s. That's why I got involved. CMG. Also, someone was asking why I keep talking about burritos for the last hour. It's because I'm in Chipotle, and I like making my puns. Yeah. And so there we go. Chipotle, I'm so proud of how I called this rounded bottom, because I said we have these bottoming tail candles, even though we were below the 90 MA, and look how we curled. Come on, curl. Come on, Chipotle.
Come on, curl.
Come on,
Curly fries. Let's go, baby.
Come on, curly fries. Come on. Lightly salted
Ram likes
chips.
curly fries.
Give me that move on Chipotle. You guys know how much smoke I want. All of it. If it's actually at Chipotle, ironically, I want no smoke because I can't handle spice.
Fair.
But in this trade, we're about flat on this right now. So really happy. Should have added some, as I mentioned, but I didn't want to add until I had a little bit of this out because right now we have a full burrito bowl and I would like to empty it a little bit before I add some more toppings.
What do you get on your burrito bowl?
Chicken, queso, corn,
No guac?
cheese. Sometimes guac, depends on how I'm feeling, because
Fair.
sometimes the guac can be a little spicy.
True.
Which is
I like
embarrassing.
guac because it makes everything easier to eat.
That is
You know
true.
what I mean?
Guac is
'Cause,
like the paste. Well, it's
exactly.
like sour cream too, because I feel like if
Exactly.
you have a dry burrito bowl, it's not the vibe. Chipotle though, not
Get it,
dry.
Adira.
Chipotle. Okay, I'm like a cent in the money, but you still gotta celebrate because we got that bounce. I got that bounce, and I apologize for the yelling. I'm just
Don't
very excited.
apologize.
Thank you. I appreciate that. As Sean said, you want to have that passion. I have that passion. EW, you want me to yell for you too? You got to do a little bit more. Like, cool, 2 pennies in the money. EW, continue to credit go down. I'm not going to say ew to this chart yet, but I would like to see it continue in its downtrend. We have the lower highs. We have the lower lows. Will it give me smoke? Will it give me life sciences?
Oh.
I don't know. What are you looking at?
Well, I'm long the future. We're doing well here. We're on the way up. I've got planned DCAs because I think that we're going to trend up here on the future. That's just my bias, and we'll see what we get, and we will not get upset. So I already wet my beak on some profits, looking at adding if we drop down into the position so I can get a little bit more. I'm still holding on to some. Let's see if we can pamp. I'm looking, well, let's do some charting. How about that behooves us? Let's do some charting. Where are we going to encounter some resistance? Over here, as the French say, there. You heard what happened today on the Eurostar?
did.
That's not a good look. I think 19,300, likely the most, well, if we continue up here and break the 50-point level, 19,250, I'm looking at that 300. Then ultimately, though, that almost 400, 19,387, that's the crest from yesterday that we put in midday that we V-shaped twice yesterday. Once to the high side and once to the downside. Yesterday was a bamboozler of like epic proportions. Look at that V shape and in the, that was the bell. And then we found our bottom at around 10:10. We found our top at 12:10. What? And then we found another bottom here at, basically 3 o'clock or so. So keeping an eye there for that. I'm going to continue to hold my position in the future and look to add to it. Quite frankly, we're nicely in the 20 pennies in the money here. Let's do a little bit more. Oh, baby. Let's see if we can weasel our way through 300. I'll likely will wet my beak at 300 if we were to make it up there. I'm just going to pack my patience, come what may, baby. There it is. Wet that beak.
Do you have that yet, that button?
I don't. I should probably get that, though, because I say it so dang often, right? So might as
Yeah.
well, yeah. All right, so we're letting the future go here. We're 20 pennies in the money. I'm going to let it go. I'm not touching it. Let's see what we get. Tom H. All right, Tom. Abdi, hello. Abdi Shakur, hello to you as well. Hello, what's going on? Uber, small bearish flag, says Paolo. Let's see exactly what we got there on Uber. We had that headline yesterday with respect to independent contractors. Yeah, if you look at it on a wider time frame, definitely agree with you, Paolo. A little bit of a down and to the right. We call that the hockey stick pattern around here, and that's not a good look. This is the pump yesterday on Uber. Came in at around 10-1, popped up, and then really kind of sell the news event there. The future is continuing to head higher. We're at now 25 pennies in the money on this monster. Go Fuge, go. I'm thinking 19,300. At the best, I think maybe we could do, again, just my guess, is that crest from yesterday midday at 19,368 or what, 2/3, give or take, in that area. Here comes 66 now on the TQQQ. Some size there at the whole dollar, unsurprising. We're going to pack our patience, expecting areas, obviously, where it's going to drop back down. I am going to look to add on those areas. It's going to be about where. So I like the 70 penny area. That's where I'm in. And if it comes down into this area, I will add at this area. Right now, my add is in the low 60s. I don't think that's valid anymore. I think that 70 area now is more valid given this area crest that we rejected off. And then once we cleared 70, we came down, we defended it. That's what you want to see with respect to area technical resistance and support. So the 70 penny area is a good area for me to add. Here comes 99s, 98 showing on the bid, but that's kind of irrelevant for me because I'm not taking anything out here, Adair.
Make sure you vote for what ticker you want to see, guys.
I forgot about that.
Get involved. There's a Q&A. I'll show you guys.
Yeah.
Hello.
The Chilean Nightmare made this little app on ChatGPT, tallies all the votes.
Thank you. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare / Fabian. And also shout out to Ramin. Shout out to everybody here. But look, you can go, what do you want to see? Ask something and you type what you want to see. I don't want to like mess up the vote by typing, but whatever ticker you want. Maybe it's CMG. Maybe it's Dexcom, whatever ticker you want, type in there, get involved. I am trying to get involved in Tesla because we keep bouncing off 20s. Like I said, that $1/5 of a dollar level, shout out to Sharif, has been a bit of an area for the Cybertruck. So I'm going to start piecing some out here. I took a really random number of shares. That must have been a typo. The trade was not a typo, but the number of shares I took must have been because it was a really random number. But it's all good. It's within my area of interest. Let's see. I don't know why I said that like Pinterest. But let's see how we go here on TSLA. If we bounce off to that level, I'm the one with the whole dollar to the, okay. So yeah, Tesla here trying to wake me up. Let's see what we do if we retest that level. How are you doing?
Good. I'm just looking to add. There it is. We got the add at 70s. So now we're long 69s. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher here. What's my out? My out is going to be 40s. So we're going to have to pack our patience on this trade. I'm looking for it to hold up at around this level. Let's see if we can weasel a little bit higher. I'm going to start the lesson in a second, guys. I just added to this position, so I don't want to be super quick to get out of it if I add it, or to do the lesson if I add it. So we'll watch this one for a little bit. We are talking about, though, we're talking about gaps all week long, and there it is, baby. Added and wet my beak again at that 80 penny level. So we'll see if we can weasel our way back up. Bottoming tail candle at the moment, guys. So looking to keep the future on the ropes if it continues to move up. We're above the IB high, so my bias is long now. So I'm looking to add on the dips and bang, go up more. Future, let's take that $66 level out. We're already 4% on the levered product here. Dara, 4% is the TQQQs. Obviously, the NQ is 1 1/3, but this is a levered product, a triple levered product. So as a result, it's obviously a little bit higher. So we'll see what we get there. Rejecting off 90s for now. I want to get out of this so that I can focus on the lesson because I don't want to be. Oh, I'm sorry, Ram. Yeah, it is being bent actually. Stream Deck. The thing is, Ram, look, it's bent naturally. Not good. Yeah, I bet. Sorry, Ram. Shout out to my. Thank you, Ram. All right, so I put it closer to that area. So I'm gonna get out of this trade here. Should I get out? I'm thinking. I need to do the lesson, so I'm gonna get out.
I can do the lesson.
No, that's my job. All right, let me get out of all the orders so that I have no outstanding orders so I cannot get in any trouble while I do said lesson, because sometimes I don't concentrate on the side chart. So let's go. Shout out my man, Adam DeLuce. Thank you for the 69 entries. Of course, but that's a running gag on this desk anyway, so that's a look there.
What's life without whimsy?
Yeah, exactly, right? Tell them, dear. All right, guys, common gaps today. Gaps next week as well. We're going to get more nuance. This is the most boring of the lessons because there's really, I don't want to say there's no trade to be had on common gaps, but it's risky to trade them. So I'm not really telling you how to trade them or what the move is. I'm telling you how to spot them so you can stay away from them. That's my move, okay? So let's get right to it. Traders, today we're focusing on the most frequent gap type. Yes, that common gap, hence the name. While they might not be as dramatic as breakaway or exhaustion gaps, understanding them is essential for effective technical analysis. So let's get to what are common gaps. Common gaps are, as the name suggests, the most frequent type of gaps on a price chart. They occur due to various reasons, including news events, economic data releases, or simply market fluctuations, even sympathy plays. For example, if there was anything Mag 7 related, some of the other ones might gap as well. Unlike breakaway or exhaustion gaps, common gaps, though, fill relatively quickly, and that's typically how we can spot them. There's other ways, but the speed at which they get filled usually is how we spot them with success. And that's what I want to show you over here. This common gap, obviously, it opens up higher than the closing print. So there is an area, a void, where no trading takes place between two successive candles. But as I just alluded to, the characteristic unique to common gaps is the speed at which they get filled. And you can notice here, the third candle or the second candle subsequent to the gapping candle fills the gap just like that. So that's what we're looking for, these gaps that fill relatively quickly. So the characteristics of the common gap are as follows. With respect to size and volume, common gaps typically exhibit a smaller price difference between the previous close, which we know is the measuring for the gap, the previous close, and the next day's open as compared to these other gaps, the exhaustion, common, runaway, whatever, okay? Additionally, trading volume accompanying common gaps is generally lower than the other types of gaps that we've talked about. So you really may not see that outsized volume bar relative to the other volume bars that are on the daily, weekly, whatever you're charting, okay? So you may not have that outsized volume. Gap fill speed, which I alluded to multiple times. This is really what makes them stand out. While not a definitive characteristic by any means, common gaps often fill within a shorter time frame, sometimes even within the same trading session. So you get that gap fill right away. You know the expression gaps get filled, all gaps get filled? Well, no, that's not necessarily true. Maybe all common gaps get filled or most common gaps get filled. Maybe that's where the adage comes from. Price action, with respect to their price action, unlike breakaway or exhaustion gaps, which often signal significant price movements, common gaps are followed by price action that really tends to revert towards the previous price range, as I showed you in that previous chart there. Basically, you get that gap and then boom, 2-3 days later, you're filling it. Get it, Adara.
Thank you.
And some technical indicators that you can keep your eye on, with respect to common gaps. Volume indicators, you're going to typically see low volume accompanying the gap. As I alluded to, that reinforces the idea that it is a common gap. Oscillators as well, you're going to see things like the RSI or the stochastics basically show you neutral or slightly overbought or oversold, but you're definitely not going to see it at the extremes, above 70 for a prolonged time, maybe touching that 90 or touching that 20 on the bottom. They're going to be kind of in the intermediate area or just slightly overbought or oversold. Moving averages as well, important to look at when assessing common gaps. You don't want to see too much of a move in the moving average, so they really should be relatively unchanged if it is in fact a moving gap. It's not a hard, fast rule, but it's one thing to look at in your analysis. And here's another look at the common gap. You can tell there's umpteen amount of them here. So common are they, and they typically happen, as you can see here, within a defined range where you have a clear area of technical resistance and a clear area of technical support. I would submit to you that there was a big boy common gap breaking through resistance, then you really, or gap, not common gap, breaking through resistance, you should be on the lookout for a breakaway gap or an initiation gap or one of those types of gaps. Here's another look. We're zigging, we're zagging, but the most notable thing is it gets filled pretty dang quickly, okay? And so I would say to you guys, this gap over here, this gap could be a breakaway gap, right? Because you have a clear area of technical resistance from what we can see anyway, the little data that we have, and then it gaps through it and it's above that and it continues up. It doesn't get filled right away. So, compare and contrast this gap over here to this gap over here, which could be a breakaway gap. I'm not saying it is because we don't have enough information, but looks like it. Why do common gaps occur? So I kind of alluded to this earlier. News and economic data, for example, unexpected news. Economic data releases can cause temporary price fluctuations resulting in common gaps, but there's also shifts in market sentiment that can have that effect as well. So sudden changes in sentiment due to rumors, speculation, other factors can lead to these common gaps and trading halts, right? Not necessarily, these volatility halts, although they can result in gaps as well. But these news pending halts that don't have a predefined time frame for how long they're going to be closed down for, they can just open up any time. You don't really know. Okay, as these news pending halts, if you don't know what they are, essentially the exchange wants more information for the company before they'll allow them to start trading, usually because they're gapping up or down with no news. Okay. And oh, by the way, Chinese ADRs, they're an exception to this rule. These Chinese ADRs and some others, because of their interest in other areas of the world because they're Chinese, obviously. So the Asians, or they're trading the Asian market, and so sometimes you'll see there's a lot of volume on these Chinese ADR, like from 4 a.m. to like 7 a.m. or whatever, and so they'll have the effect of gapping up from the prior day close at 4. Okay, so keep that in mind. Trading common gaps, we're not going to spend too much time on that because they are a bit of a risky beast to dance with. While common gaps might not offer significant trading opportunities, understanding them, though, is crucial for overall market analysis. Here are some key points. First and foremost, avoid chasing them, right? Because they get filled pretty quickly. So unless you really want to short it and you're super confident in your assessment that they're common gaps, stay away from it. Identify, they also, though, have this ability, even though they're not really, as important as breakaway gaps or exhaustion gaps or continuation gaps or whatever, they do have, for whatever reason, an effect of creating new areas of support and resistance. So be on the lookout for that and consider other factors, right? Combine gap analysis with other technical indicators to make sure you're making those informed trading decisions. Rahim Alani was here. I was telling everybody you gave me grief yesterday for wearing shorts, and you're like, what are you doing out here? Right? How are you?
We're supposed to be on TV now. I show up in a t-shirt.
I know, right? But you look good. I like it. This is the first time I've seen this guy in no suit, right? He's always suited up and he's got a handkerchief.
Sometimes I dress down.
You look good, brother.
Thanks.
How's everything? Everything good?
Everything is good.
Fantastic. Rahim Alani, everybody. Rahim Alani. All right. So common and other gaps. Let's talk about these bad boys. So to differentiate common gaps from other types of caps, here are what I'm going to give you to consider as a technical approach, okay? First and foremost, gap size and volume. Common gaps, as we talked about, typically are smaller in size price action-wise, and they're typically accompanied by less trading volume. The way to discern that is to look at the volume bars near the gaps. Are they above on a general average, sense, or is it just, blending in with the rest, okay? A large gap with a significant price increase is more likely to be a breakaway gap or an exhaustion gap than it is a common. Price action after the gap is also quite telling. So common gaps often fill relatively quickly, while breakaway gaps and exhaustion gaps, might have more prolonged price movement in the direction of the gap. And trend context, super important here as well. Breakaway gaps often occur at the beginning of a new trend, and exhaustion gaps appear at the end of the trend, while common gaps, they're just hanging out willy-nilly. You're going to find them within a range. They're not breaking above support. They're not breaking below resistance. They're just happening in the middle of a range, and they don't establish anything new. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Support and resistance levels as well. Breakaway gaps, we know, break above or below a key area of technical support or resistance. While common gaps, sorry, I lost my train of thought. While common gaps, again, tend to occur within ranges rather than breaking up or below areas of support. And just a little bonus tip to leave you guys with, focus on identifying the factors that cause common gaps in your chosen market. This knowledge can help you anticipate potential gap occurrences and adjust your trading strategy accordingly. And one thing I'll leave you with, sympathy plays, Adara. So sometimes, Uber will have like a sick headline, and then DoorDash moves up in sympathy. But it wasn't the headline for DoorDash, it was the headline for Uber. So Uber continues, DoorDash gaps up, but because it was in its own headline, what happens? Phil. So that's one thing I would say to you guys, sympathy plays, when they result in gaps, sometimes they can get filled. So be on the lookout for that, because we're talking about identifying common gaps in the market context in which we trade. That's one time I see it all the time, as well as Chinese ADR.
Sympathy plays is a really good way to get, because that way too, and Neil said this as well, sometimes if NVIDIA has a story, he'll play AMD, because the one that is the sympathy one, it can feel sympathy. It'll be like, oh, I'm here for you. I understand your pain. I understand but it's not going to have the same move because it's not happening to it. It's sympathy. It's not an empathy move. You know what I mean? So shout out to that. Thank you for
the future is absolutely pumping. Adara, I should have left that position in. What was I thinking? Dan, the dang man Emmons, called it. Shout out to him. He's like, yo, we're going to have another 100 points here. And he was talking about 19.2, may I add. And now the high is 19,289. Dan, take a bow. Good call out by you, sir. Shout out.
Shout out to Take a Bow by Rihanna as well, which was quite the song. And yeah, that was like everyone's like emo jam in 2007. So shout out Riri. Also, this stock, EW, the lifestyle Edwards, this was a fun short. Do I wish I had taken more on the way down? Oh yeah, I could not get filled. Right now I'm trying to take the entire position out at 18s if we can get to 18s. Why am I doing this? Because these bottoming tail candles have me quivering in my, okay, we're good, we're out. I did not like that look. To be fair, we were still kind of rejecting off VWAP, but I was like, Adara, this is SSR. This was down 30% yesterday. You do not want that smoke if this thing pops to the upside, because I saw that yesterday. So if we bounce off VWAP, I have no qualms about flipping to a long, but I wanted to get out of my short there. Please just punch. Basically, every time we had lower high, I would add, tried to subtract more, was not able to get filled. Happy I got out where I did. If we bounce off VWAP here, or that is VWAP. If we get to the 90 MA, a little bit of trampolining action, I would be interested in the long, but happy with how I played this. I want to talk about Chipotle, because I did get, the chip crumbled for me on there. I got, a little bit of salt on my hands with that chip crumble. We broke below 60s, I got out. This was kind of rangy, did not play it how I wanted to, definitely got involved too early. To be clear, happy I took it, because I still did see stuff I like. At the time we were bouncing off the 90 MA, I did not add too frivolously. However, probably should add a smaller position, but honestly, if my reason for not getting in was going to be, I didn't want to give up my first trade, that's never a reason to not get involved. So I'm happy I tried it. Didn't work out. As Obi says, where's the next trade? Edward Life Sciences curling, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Also, though, that I have an eye on is 3M. If you were along this morning, or if you're a long-term holder of this, I'm sure you're saying, because that was a great look here. But why it's caught my interest, because we're below the 90 MA. We have that rejection. Now, I don't love that big old bottoming tail candle, but I like that we're kind of coming into that previous area of support here, around 66s. 66s, and we're rejecting. If we test this 90 MA area again and we break down, I'm actually interested in a position here in MMM, and I'd be interested up and until 121.60. That gives you about $1. Now, where would I get out if it goes awry? 123. So risking about 30, 40 pennies to try to make roughly $1 is a risk-to-reward ratio I can live with. Also, Tesla, because I forgot to talk about this trade. This was a really different type of trade for me in Tesla. This is not the type of thing I normally take. Got involved initially at 220. Where was this? 220. Yeah, I got involved initially 220.20s. Got out half at 220.40s. Added in at 220s, then added again at 220.80s, continued to scalp in and out. Ended up taking 70 pennies with the remainder of my position on that. So really happy with this TSLA. I think my whole strategy with Tesla of having the book up at all times, only taking trades that make me want to jump out of my skin. I love them so much. That's the type of strategy that's worked on Tesla. Has every trade been profitable? No. But the decisions have been a lot smarter, and I've been able to do some more scalping. And to me, honestly, you want to be developing every single day. You can't expect to be perfect overnight. Heck no. That's not how things work. So happy with that. Small progress, little nibbles of growth every single day. And if there's a stock you're nibbling at and you're wondering about, get involved here, get in that chat. What stocks do you want to see? Press the ask something. And then you ask. Well, you don't ask, actually. You just put your ticker. Maybe it's TSLA. Maybe it's IWM. Maybe it's whatever ticker you want. Get involved, guys. Please let us know. So that the big kahuna's there. We have Neelaj and Obi-Wanfidence. They can give you a look at their trades. And also Sharif will stand up there. I have a nickname for you that I just thought of.
I don't know if I like this. I'm worried.
Wiz Khalifa.
Huh?
Do you know Wiz Khalifa, the rapper?
Yes.
Wiz Khalifa.
Okay, I normally I would be okay with that, but you have to understand something about Arabic. Sharifa is a girl's name.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
sorry.
so Sharif and Sharifa, right? So I'd rather not be called.
I understand that. I was not aware.
It's okay. I didn't expect you. That's what I was telling you. Like,
you say that.
We're good. So that's the look there. But hey, you can call me whatever you want, Adara, because I didn't really take your permission to call you Adara Panera. I told you that was what you said your name sounded like, and I went with it. So
nicknames.
So you're entitled to whatever you want to do. So shout out to Adara. She wants to call me Sharif. Then I'm Sharif.
This is a reference to Wiz Khalifa.
All right, I'm long the future. I'm looking at going long here to ride the trend. I want to add, quite frankly, so I hope I don't I hope it comes down a little bit. I want to add in front of 66, but it already gave you that opportunity to add. I was using the washroom, so I got in obviously a little bit late, but that's the way it is. So we're gonna pack our patience, look to ride this one up a little bit more. Here we go. We're at 20s, and now we got filled again on the future. So let's see if we can move up a little bit more. I want to add again, as I said, at 66. What's going on there? Mario, says Virgo. It's me, Mario. No, I'm not Mario. My name's Sharif. Shout out to DJ Big Sharif. What's up? What's up? Havoc. Yeah, I know it's funny. I'm sure you guys got a good little laugh out of that. Now I know my name is going to be Sharifa from now on with the chat, which is fine because I showed you a little bit of weakness on my side. Now I know it's going to get exploited, but that's the look. Can you believe Google is moving up, Ram? I didn't think that Google would be moving up into 160. I know. I didn't think that this would be the case today on goggles, but now we are in positive territory, baby. We are up into that 0.3%, wanting to get into that 168. We definitely had issues. Oh, my bad. It pointed the wrong way. I know. You're disappointed in me, but I'll do better. Right, a 168 area. We were rejected last time. We had a consolidation top there in the pre. So keep your eye out for a possible 168, rejection. But I mean, I wouldn't be looking short personally on the Mag 7 on the day. We're awfully bullish. Everything, I shouldn't say everything because NVIDIA is a little anemic here, but most things are up into the dang right. Even Tesla's back in positive territory. Also, I believe Google up 0.3% over here, but Google's chart looks a little bit better than Tesla, to be honest with you, because we're at the IB high on goggles, where we're not necessarily, though, even close to the IB high. That's 225 on TSLA. So TSLA's got a lot more to do. All right, the future coming back down, getting a few candles of indecision. So that area of, I'm going to remove 66. I'm going to look to get long. Yeah, actually, I don't mind that area, 66. So let's go ahead and sit there at 66. So let's go ahead and sit at 2s or 3s. We'll sit at 3s. I do like this area. I took that off. I shouldn't have taken that off. So we'll look to defend that area. I was looking at the side chart at 19,250 on the NQ September contract. And the reason I'm looking there is because that's where the 10 exponential on the 5 is. And, you know, if you've been watching the future, it's been absolutely respecting the 10 exponential on the 5 since 11:30. So half an hour after we started the show, it has not touched it once. So if we do come back in, there is some aggression, I want to buy it off there, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. There is also other price action areas that we need to be concerned with. This consolidation area here that we put in the pre, 19,250, for example, or 225, excuse me. So that's another interesting area. All right, we got long again on the future. Now we bang on the future. Oh, man, I'm doing well today. Jeez. All right. Yes, right. Dip right into 66 and right up again into the mid-teens. Happy with this trade. I'm still holding on to more, and I want to wet my beak on more. Go, future, go. The futures recovering beautifully today. 1.5% after we did basically on the ES. And I want to show you this in a second. From the top of the NQ September contract in that July 12th high to the low we made yesterday, almost exactly 10%. That same area on the ES, almost exactly 5%. Showing that to Brendo today. Just saying. So keep your eye on that. Meta, I see, is retracing into the 10 exponential on the 5. It's been very directional as well. 3.25 in the green. This could be an interesting area here on META there.
Yeah, I am in my blazer because I was a little chilly. So I'm going to fix my... Oh, yeah, okay, we'll do that later. But yeah, EW, I said I wanted to see what happened here with the VWAP bounce. I liked the VWAP bounce. I like that beautiful bottoming tail candle. I like the succession of bottoming tail candles. Happy I switched out of the short. We'll see if I'm happy if I switched into the long. I'm willing to add here if it gets to we'll do 13s. If we break below 62s decisively, I'm outie. I know we're below the 90 MA still. That is a low I normally wouldn't like, but look where we're kind of bouncing. That's right, not just VWAP, though it is VWAP, but it's also that area we chipped and turned around earlier, that 6220 area. So 21, I don't know if it's done something for me yet, but I am involved. We'll see. I'm going to try to add here at 13s if I can, because I do want to build a little position here. I'm going to take some out here at 50s should we get it. Then I will be saving pieces for dreams. This is SSR, so I do, again, we might not get my bounce, but I like how we're holding right now, so I want to be cognizant of that. Lego, question mark for Edward Life Sciences, we'll find out. CMG, someone was telling me CMG was popping. CMG, little upset, no, I'm joking. CMG, I got out, we broke below 60s, had to get out, to be clear. Like, I stand by that. Then I didn't get back in because I wasn't really seeing enough. And now CMG pops back up. So shout out to anybody involved in CMG. Happy I had those trades earlier. Try it again. And again, like I said, I could be upset that I lost on those trades, but I can't be that upset because I did follow my plan. Though again, area of entry could have been a skosh better. But that's what the whole point of progress is. You live and you learn. And you can't learn if you haven't lived. So there you go. Also, you know what I just noticed? One of my favorite tickers that I know Obi was trading earlier today, EWM, rangy, you may say. Rangy, bouncing off 90 MA, you may say. IWM, do you want me to get involved? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Ooh. Okay, I'm really tempted to get involved in the IWM here. If we come bounce off EWM, oh no, it looks even better when you look at this bounce earlier. If EWM bounces off 223.40 again, it would not be getting involved in an EWM. It would be a planned entry. I like that look. Also, Tesla, 21's doing something here for Tesla. I'll pull up that little ticker. Like I said, with Tesla, I've just been watching the book all day. If there's levels I like, 221 rejection, I might short a pop, but I would be very hesitant to do so. Like the shorting the pops on Tesla can work, to be clear. I did this so successful earlier with that one, but it is always a bit riskier, especially when Tesla's in an uptrend. We call it stressful for a reason. If I see something I like and feel really good about, I will consider it, but I will consider it pretty intensely. So I'm definitely not something you're gonna bounce in on. Pushing back up here. This is clearly a crazy area here, that 122.60s. Like I said, I was like, let's wait to see what we do here. It decided to bounce. If this wants to range, if you'll have me, I would like to take you to the downside.
I like it.
Just a range, please, and thank you.
You tell that,
Thank you. I don't know why I yelled that, sorry, wow. Lesson soon.
Yeah, we just did it, so you can hang.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, how was your TQ?
Good, I'm holding it, and I added at 66. I want to add more. Quite frankly, so we'll see what we get. Now, I want to mention, let's talk a little bit here because it's 1 o'clock. There is a big crypto conference happening in Nashville. I believe it started today. I'm not 100% sure. And, you know, obviously Donald Trump and JD Vance are going to be there, but that's not really the reason that I'm talking about it. It's because there could be some crypto action this weekend. Go Fuge! Yeah, sorry, just let me yell a little bit. But the whole point is to keep your eye on crypto this weekend. I don't know what kind of announcements. I'm assuming, though, that we'll get some sort of maybe political announcements with respect to how crypto will be treated in a possible new administration. So we'll wait to see about that. So Nashville, I believe there is a big crypto conference.
It is Nashville.
It is Nashville, right? Yeah. Starting, I think today and going into the weekend. That's going to be big for the crypto lovers. I don't know if the Chilean Nightmare is listening. I think he's got his headsets on editing your video. But that is the look there. So keep that in mind. Let's have a look at how crypto... Just tell him that there's a crypto conference in Nashville this weekend. So crypto's in play. Because I know he cares about that kind of stuff. He booked a plane ticket. Come on. I know you. But there is the look today in crypto. And everything, Adara, is in Greensville. And I know my percentage for crypto or for Bitcoin could be a little bit different than yours because everybody's start time for BTC is a little bit different. That's been my experience. 67,368, up 4 1/5. Ethereum lagging behind, whatever for the reason is behind Bitcoin, 3.83. MicroStrategy is the monster, up 9 2/3, looking to go 10%. Coin, like we mentioned, 4 1/3, but negative after the bell. Mara as well, no Patty Ice today, 6 1/4, but a quarter point down after the bell. Riot, Hive, CleanSpark, Cut, you name it, they're all in green. So keep your eye on this one, because it could absolutely be in play on the weekend, and which gives us another play for Monday. And here comes the Fuge. The Fuge is topping tail over here, right back down into 66. It goes. Does it hold, or are we retracing a little bit here for a deeper move down? Let's keep watching over here on said Fuge. Still holding a little bit of a position at 03s. It's defending it for now. 19,291 essentially moving in to 19,300. But I got to tell you, I see 4 topping tail candles on the 5-minute chart into that 19,300. That usually means sellers are starting to get in and short at this level, or there's umpteen amount of profit taking. So 4 candles topping tail into that 19,300, but technically 19,291 is the HOD.
Yeah, I think my 1 p.m. trading checklist might have to come out here because a choice was made. It's all good. I stand by it for now, AM'd. But why did I short AM'd here? Because with that little move in the market, as Sharif says, topping tail candle, I see a whole slew of them on AM'd. Look at this. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop. So many. Are we bouncing off the 90 MA? A little bit, hence my hesitation. If we see distinctive out of this poof, out of this 141-ish to 140.85-ish range, I shall be poof exiting the trade like that, magic. But no, yeah, I don't like this. I'm gonna have to be leaving because clearly that was a decision that maybe should not have been made. Adair, you've not traded AMD yet today. Sure, it looks cool for you for half a second, but stare for longer in the future. Learning lessons, values. This one though, Edward Life Sciences, I'm still in, and this thing is still chopping and churning. I stand by this as a long for the time being, but I have a feeling it might actually be more of a range than anything else. Like I said, as long as we're above this 162, I'm okay staying in this. And actually, I think my plan for this is going to be to add, I know my plan for this is going to be to add and subtract. If we get to 30s, 32s, I'm going to take some out. Then I'm going to get back in. Shoop, 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 shoop. I'm going to be like slalom skiing through this range, you know, through the pulls. But we're going to see what happens here. This is, I really like this look. Also, TSLA 21 could not really do something for Tesla in a significant way. Look at these little wiki topping tail candles. That being said, I'm seeing something similar to here to what I saw in AMD, although I've been watching the Tesla book way more than I have been looking at AMD. That AMD trade was definitely not the trade of my lifetime, but you know what? It's one trade. And as Opie says, where's the next trade? I don't know. Right now, I'm still in ew. But right now, I'm not saying ew to it. If we pop up, I might even say yay to ew if we can get to that first little beak wetter at 62.30s. If there's any stocks you guys want to look at in the afternoon show, you want Obi and or Neil, but it'll be not and or, it'll be both of them, guiding you through what they would have done with that ticker, their thoughts on that ticker. And there's been so many interesting stuff going on today, guys. There's crypto, as Sharif's just taking us through that. Whatever you want to see, if you want to know what's going on in the crypto conference in Nashville, whatever you want to see, get in that chat, ! Join space dollars. No, not that anymore. Sorry, guys. Whoops, my brain. Go through this thing on the chat. You go to that. Ask something, you press on that, and you type whatever ticker you want, and then maybe it'll be covered on the show. Unfortunately, you can no longer campaign with your friends. It's a little bit more, I like this, it's like silent voting. It's like when you have your heads down, you raise your hand.
You can bully them to type in the ticker
that is true,
want,
too. You could be like, hey, yo,
Look, bullying is frowned upon. You know, it's not in vogue anymore, right? I know you want to bully people, Ram, but we're not talking to you right now. Yeah, she wants to bully everybody. I got a side story for this. I got a side story because I remember you told me something here. But you know, we're okay with bullying in the chat. If only allowed to bully your friends to vote. No other bullying of any kind. I'm just kidding, guys, making stuff up. But Ram did tell me one time. So here's what I said to Ram. I'm like, look, I can't wait to get Optimus so I can absolutely bully the hell out of it. I'm going to swear at it, throw stuff at it. Yeah, of course. No problem. And then Ram's like, I can't wait to have kids. I'm going to bully my kids. I'm like, what? What's going on? I'm like, I'm talking about bullying a robot. She wants to bully her kids. Like, that ain't the move. So shout out to Ram. I love Ram. I'm just kidding.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, all right. So no, Mario, bullying is bad. So I'm just kidding, guys. We're just joking around here. Let's not take everything seriously. I did wet my beak on Apple, though, for a nice 20-penny winner. So this one came into the 10 exponential on the 5. I got long, but I am seeing a bit of a curl down. I don't like what I'm seeing at the moment for how it's making lower lows and lower highs. So unless we get a nice decided bounce off that 10 exponential on the 5, I'm going to get out of my trade on Apple. I don't want to paper hand it, but I'm seeing a bit of a rounded top right now with rejections simultaneously on the future of that 19,300. So we'll see what we get. But right now, I'm looking out here, dear.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the burrito land. I know it was like, no, I don't want to change this anymore. No, Adara, just because like literally I got wicked out of this. That's honestly what happened. The idea was still solid. My entry point initially maybe kind of meh, probably took 2 minute size to begin with, but I'm willing to take a smaller burrito, a little babier bite, and I really want this smoke. Why do I want the smoke? And shout out to the person who told me this was popping back up. I believe your name was Jericho in the chat. So I like this because look where we bounce. That 80s area, we have bottoming tail candles. Well, we had one. We'll see. I don't even think it'll get filled. I'm not chasing waterfalls here. If the line's too long, chasing waterfalls. That's how you get messed up in your Chipotle trade. I don't know. But we'll see what I do here on Chipotle. I'm not going to be chasing. I do have a planned entry, though. The 76 area, that was an area I saw both on the chart and the book. That was a little bit bouncy. But Edward Life Science is giving me life right now because we did get part of this position out. I have 2/3 remaining. If we come back, if we bounce off that 90 EMA, you know who's adding? Me. So I'm really happy with this right now. Gonna take some out at 50s as well because that was initially the plan. We'll try for 51s. 51, can you do something for me? Probably not, but we'll see. Let's see what happens here. If this is a topping tail candle, I will not like that, Sam I am. But I think, you know, as long as I continue to see this uptrend, I think that VWAP bounce is gorgeous. I'm happy I played that appropriately, was able to make profit on the short here. We'll see if we can make profit on the long, and we'll see if we can eat that. Oh, we're not in Chipotle. That's annoying. How are you doing?
I just want to, what Ram just told me by ear. She's like, someone in the chat said, it's actually smarter to bully your kids than to bully a robot because guess what? When the robots take over and Skynet is active, guess who's going to get the first cut? And that's going to be me. So, yeah, Ram, smarter than you let on, and especially the people in the chat. That's actually quite brilliant there. Shout out to them. I did get weaseled out of my Apple long as it did decidedly break through that 10 exponential on the 5. I'm still involved in the future because we're still above that $66 level. We're still above the 10 exponential on the 5. I am now looking at the dead one, Apple, for a 218.75 hold at the 20 exponential. I'm not going to have a resting order there. That got me in a lot of trouble this week, having resting orders at exponential moving averages that I want to hold up, not necessarily that actually hold up. So I need proof before I get in. Now, we're going to look to see exactly what we're doing here on the future. We have very small size at this level, but I'm not going to be as quick to add at 66 this time around. And if we do break down below 90, that is going to be the end of my trade. And we'll see what we get a little bit later. And here comes 90. If we break below 9-0, I'm gone Zeno. But it is retracing quickly right back into 66 over here. So that was a 10 exponential on the 5 hold on the NQ September contract, and right up it goes. So this is a good hold here on AAPL. Let's go into this one for a 20 exponential hold. And let's see what we get here. We'll go up into this, and then we'll basically put this. Sorry, I'm just putting in my stops. There we go there. So we put in that. So I'm looking for a 20 exponential hold on Apple and a 10 exponential hold. Woo! That was quick on Apple. Nice trade there. Happy with this trade. Whoa, what's going on? How come it's not letting me out? What the hell is going on over here? I know, bro. I know.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's weird.
Remy?
I don't know. What, Ram?
Remy
Hold
just
on.
flashed me across the screen and I was going.
All right. I'm just seeing why it's not letting me out. There we go. Now we're good. We're good on that. Okay, I just lost my marbles there for a second. So we hold on to that. I'm looking at the future still and still positive on both. Happy with both these trades. I'm going to keep keeping Apple on the ropes. It dipped down to the 20 and it held up. Let's see if we can add a little bit more, Adara. Go Apple.
I'm very happy for you, and I will also scream with you. Go Apple. So please just punch for you. I got out at UM. Took like I think less than 10 pennies on this. I wanted the bounce here. Then I noticed we were kind of rejecting the 90 EMA. I like this range. I think there still could be a range, but I do not want to stay in this for the time being if I don't have that massive confidence. Did not get filled in CMG. Said I wasn't going to chase it. If there's another dip, I'll get involved there. Dip, like a salsa dip or something in CMG. EW, what are you going to give me here? Ew. Let's get Edward Life Sciences up here. Like I said, I am out of a third of this position. Oh, okay. Topping tail candle, not a vibe. Potential bounce here off the 90 MA, a vibe. So I'm a little bit, I think EW is giving you a little bit of a mixed sentiment here. I want to see what we do. I'm comfortable chilling in this trade because it's giving you some stuff I like. Tesla back to waffling around that 221 as Tesla does. I think, though, it is time for us to do our lesson du jour. I'm going to keep my pal EW on my side chart. I'm going to stay in this trade though because I do feel good about this trade. I'm just not going to add. So we'll keep you apprised of that, as Sharif sometimes says, what's going on. And ew, hopefully, if you see me screaming ew during the lesson, that might be not a great sign. But you know what's actually a pretty common sign in the market?
What?
Accidental pun, common gaps.
Ooh.
So we're going to talk about them because they're the most frequent gap type, hence the name common gap. And they might not be as dramatic as, bless you, as exciting as breakaway gaps, but understanding them is really important for technical analysis. So what are they? As the name suggests, they are kind of the most frequent type of gap on a price, and they occur due to various reasons like news events, economic data releases, or simple market fluctuations. The market's breathing in and out, price goes up and down, we get a little bit of a gap. And unlike breakaway or exhaustion gaps, they often fill relatively quickly. Not all gaps are going to fill, but a common gap is potentially more likely, as Sharif was talking about. So here's an example. In our trend, we get a little bit of a gap up, then the trend continues. It's like it didn't even matter. The market fluctuation does continue. So here's a characteristic of a common gap. So you want size and volume. Common gaps are typically going to exhibit a smaller price difference between the previous close and the opening price compared to other gap types, and the trading volume accompanying the common gaps might be a little bit lower than that of a breakaway or exhaustion gap. What about the fill speed of the gap? Well, not a definitive characteristic, words, English, common gaps often fill within a shorter time frame and sometimes even within the same trading session, though again, they might not always exist to begin with. Or they might not fill. Gaps might not all fill, that's what I meant to say. But what about price action? So unlike a breakaway or a common or exhaustion gap, which will often signal a significant price movement, common gaps are followed by price action that tends to revert towards the previous price range. What about technicals? So technicals are going to have lower volume here a little bit. That's one thing to keep an eye on. It might accompany the gap to reinforce the idea that it's common. The volume is continuing on its merry way. It's not going to give you any kind of like screaming volume up or down. It's just breathing. It's just ready for the next move. But what about oscillators? So you might have some indicators like the RSI or stochastics showing a neutral or slightly overbought or oversold reading, which suggests a temporary price imbalance rather than a significant trend change. Moving averages also should exhibit a bit more unchanged of a slope. So nothing massive, just continuing on its trajectory. Also, thank you, Ian Respetta, for the super chat asking about one of my favorite stocks. We'll talk about that in a minute. Common gaps within a range. We've got this range going on here. This is an Adara Panera trade. I would like this trade. We've got a couple gaps, but generally the range does continue. Fly, watch out. I saw him buzz. Ooh. But here's a common gap before an initiation gap. So you get your common gap. You can tell. We come in. We fill it pretty quickly. Fills a couple times. Then we get our initiation gap. Thank you, Sharif, for showing the different examples of the gaps on those charts. Why did these common gaps occur? Why do they occur?
Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I wasn't alive to that. That's actually funny.
Oh,
I wasn't
really?
alive to it.
That wasn't even a pun. That was my brain not knowing what occurred.
Because offer. That's what I thought you meant.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that. So yeah, maybe I did. What do they offer? Well,
true.
They have usually there's some news or economic data involved. So unexpected news or economic data releases can cause temporary price fluctuations, resulting in a common gap. Maybe you've got an upgrade or a downgrade. Maybe you have Chinese ADRs doing their thing 21. Yep. Whatever it is, there might be a bit more common gap that quickly gets filled back to business as usual. What about market sentiment? So that can play a role here. Sudden changes in market sentiment due to rumors, speculations, other factors, those can lead to common gaps. Trading alts can also be interesting here and play a role because trading alts, due to circuit breakers or other reasons, can create common gaps when the trading resumes. And that's going to be more intraday because gaps, like a lot of things here, are fractal. What about trading common gaps, though? Because while common gaps might not offer significant trading opportunities, you do have to understand them. So what are things to keep in mind? Avoid chasing gaps. Since common gaps fill quickly, chasing them can be a little bit risky. And also you want to make sure you're identifying support and resistance. Even though common gaps can fill quickly, they also can temporarily create new support or resistance levels. I was just talking about that level I liked on Tesla, that 226 area. That's a bit more of a common gap, but you saw that coming in quite a few times. So that's just one example of a specific me thing that examples, common gaps.
Fair.
Also, you might want to consider other gap factors because combining gap analysis on its own is just gap analysis. You want to see what everything's working together, so combine with other technical indicators to make informed decisions. How do you compare common gaps to other gap types? Gap size and volume is a key. Common gaps are usually smaller in size and accompanied by lower trading volume compared to breakaway or exhaustion gaps. A large gap with a significant increase in volume is more likely to be breakaway or exhaustion gap. I apologize to everyone for sipping water in their ears. Sorry about that. Also, price action after the gap is important to keep in mind because common gaps will fill a little bit faster. Breakaway gaps, however, might have a more prolonged price movement in the direction of the gap, and the trend context is really important. Breakaway gaps usually occur at the beginning of a new trend, while exhaustion gaps appear at the end of a strong trend. Common gaps can occur at any point during the trend. Support and resistance levels. Breakaway gaps usually will often occur through significant support or resistance levels, and common gaps tend to occur within existing price ranges. And maybe one tip to help is focusing on factors that cause common gaps in your chosen market, and this knowledge can help you identify potential price gaps. Yeah, Hugo, honestly, only thing I'm bullish on right now is all energy, all natural energy here. These markets, they give me caffeine, let me tell you.
Bang.
Also, I know you said you wanted to say something to Rick in the chat. I just want to quickly do the super chat.
Do your thing, Darren.
So thank you so much to Ian Rispetto for the $4.99 super chat. Is this a good entry for a Lily long? So let's take a look at Mademoiselle.
Yes.
Taking a real beating the past week and down more than 10 to 12% would be hold long, not necessarily to trade. Thanks. You're welcome, and thank you, Ian Rispetto. So let's see what levels Lily has been respecting, bad pun. So here's the thing with Eli Lilly is this was talked about earlier today as well. With some of these weight loss stocks, you get news in one of them, and then I was talking to Ramin and Fabian about this, that's what it was. You've got, for example, Viking yesterday being like, oh yeah, we've got our obesity drug, Lilly and Novo take a bit of a hit. So, and Fabian, I want to shout out Fabian because his analysis on this I really liked. Fabian. He was saying, he's like, a lot of these names, when you've got the smaller names coming up and having their turn in the ring with weight loss drugs, it might be impacting some of these larger names. I think that's what you are seeing. So also, yeah, Marco Trades, my voice does this every once in a while. So yeah, but I appreciate that. I'm happy you enjoy the energy because I love to try to keep that energy up. But yeah, one thing I'm seeing here for Lilly, this level is interesting, this 880. We have a couple topping tail candles into this. We have this wick here into this, what is this? This 890, 900 area, and then we reject. But when you think about it too, this 880 area, that was a mild area of support here, a little bit. Yeah. So I'd be cognizant of that. I think the gap down, though, is probably the bigger issue. Let me zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out, as Neil says. You know what I would actually be waiting for? See what you do it at this 800 area.
Wouldn't that be
Not just because it's 800, but look at all of that previous resistance and support around it. That's my analysis on Lilly.
Can I make one quick comment
Please
about
do.
that? Remember that Caterpillar 300 that never came in? Remember?
Yeah.
$300 level on Caterpillar. So the only reason I'm mentioning that is because sometimes when you want that 800 to come in, because it's such a good technical area, it gets front run.
You're right. So that could be what it is.
Sometimes it comes into that. So Ian, if I would say, if you want anything from my side, keep your eye on that 800. I think Dara absolutely has that bang on. But it's funny how those levels never seem to come in. Like that 200 on Apple, I was waiting for. Maybe it does come in, but I was waiting for that 200 level to come in again to get tested so I could add. I may not get that. I didn't get it on Caterpillar, and I may not get it on Apple. So all I'd say to use that. Now, I want to show you guys this. This is CrowdStrike. Okay? Now, we're not doing exhaustion gaps today, but I found this yesterday, and I absolutely have to show it to you, okay? So we did 2 lessons on exhaustion gaps, and the reason I did 2 is because there are 2 types. One gaps up, gets filled later. One gaps down and ends the trend right there. Look at this one over here on CrowdStrike. This is a gap up, a gnarly gap up above a key area of technical resistance. Was a 361. That was almost all-time highs. We gap up aggressively to 370. We consolidate, but look what happens subsequent. You fill the gap gets filled, and then what happens after that gap fill? This is what's funny because it kind of foreshadowed that. We know that this was an exhaustion gap because it didn't get filled right away. It was like 20 days later, 20 trading days later. And then you have a monster second type of initiation gap. And that was obviously the outage issue. And then we've been making lower lows and lower highs since that time. This is the look on the chart on CrowdStrike. I took this screenshot yesterday when I was doing my charting because this is super, super relevant to what we've been talking about on gaps. There's your gap up. This looks like exhaustion gap number 2 that we talked about yesterday. This is exhaustion gap number 1. You could even make a different argument for this gap. This could be a bearish initiation gap. That's what that is. This was the exhaustion gap that ended the trend at the top. This is not in a consolidation range. You can't make the case this is in a consolidation phase. The gap here makes all-time highs. So we know it's an exhaustion gap because it finds itself at the end of the trend. Then we consolidate for like 20 days and then boom, the outage comes. And I would submit to you that this could be a bearish initiation gap here, breakaway gap, whatever you want to call the start of a new gap. So that is my look on CrowdStrike. And I know we're not doing that today, but it really behooved me to show it to you. So I want to show that. So there you go, Trump 2024, giving you all the love there, sending you $5 for your energy. And he called me Sharif. Which is okay with me because I told him that was cool, and I like how he added the A at the end there. So shout out to Trump 2024 in the chat there. Now, whoever was asking me earlier about why I got into the TQQs, here's a look. It was Rick. Thank you for that, Adara. Here's the look. So I'm going to show you exactly what I like on the future, on the NQ September contract, and then I'll show you how I got in on the QQs. Look at this over here. This is 7:30 Central Time. 8:30 standard or Eastern Standard Time. That was essentially the pop-up when we got the PCE number. It zigged and zagged, but it topped out at 19,236, okay? So we came into that level again, my man Rick, right at 12:10, just 10 after 12. We get into that level, we reject, but most notably, we don't make a lower high, and we hold yesterday's closing print and the 100-point level. So I was like, this is awfully bullish. We come into the, not the IB high, the PCE high, let's call it like that, and it was obviously bullish because we had a rounded bottom and we went positive on the day above 19.2. We come back, we test 19.2, and then we make newer highs. So that was the look for me, and that's why I got in. Now, second time I got in was because we retraced the 10 exponential on the 5 and didn't give way. We kept holding it. So I was like, okay, this is an interesting area where I can scalp. And I've been scalping up a storm at 66. Every time it dips into 66, I'm adding and wetting my beak, adding and wetting my beak. So 66 on the TQQQ is obviously not the real level. The real level is on the NQ September contract because that's what institutions use to hedge, and so do big money players. So that's why I chart off this and not the TQQs. Now, let me tell you about what I'm seeing. People are going to be like, oh, this is a gnarly bull flag. This is a continuation, Sharif, through 19.3. Well, that's not how Obi sees it. I was just looking at the one. He is the Knob on the right over there. I'm like, do we continue to run? He's like, no, I don't think so. That could be what it is, but I'm looking for a mean reversion. And so, there's two different schools of thought. That's why I'm not gung-ho to punch long through, for a possible 19,300 break, because we're definitely not getting that continuity. We're in this stagnant consolidation phase. And, I definitely don't need to be first in order to get in. So if we do break 19,300 decidedly, I'm going to add again on the future. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Now, I got to tell you, it's looking a little bullish over here because it's not even touching the 10 exponential anymore. You had 3 candles on the 10 exponential, and now it's holding above it. So we shall see what we get. And we will not, Adara, get upset. What are you up to this weekend? Any good life plans? About 1:30, we can chill out.
Oh yeah. So my family, that was her words.
They're still here, right?
They're still here.
Yeah,
so
nice.
they, there's a thing. Oh yeah. So my family has this kind of reunion-y thing, but we've never met these people, so I'm a little bit scared. It is rural, which also has me a little bit scared. But tonight, my sister and I are celebrating her birthday early while she's in town, so that I'm actually very excited for. She made me give her a whole list of snacks, so I'm gonna meet her there. Pardon?
Shalinus?
Alina, she is a Leo, yeah. Grr.
Nice.
So that'll be really fun. I'm excited to see her.
Very nice.
So that'll be good. Yeah, I'm just watching my aunt. What are you?
Do your thing.
What are you doing this weekend?
I am. What am I doing? Tomorrow, Alfred and I are boxing. So excited about that. Then I'm going up. My parents want to buy a place up north, so we're gonna go see that. It's their place, not mine, obviously. So we're gonna go check it out. And yeah, that's really all I'm doing. And I might gallivant Saturday night. So we'll see if there's going to be some gallivanting or not. You gallivanting this weekend, Obi?
What do you mean by gallivanting? Obi's gallivanting.
He doesn't know what gallivanting is, Joshua.
We're doing some gallivanting tomorrow, right?
You're doing some. So you are gallivanting, Obi. Okay.
Where
so the
are you guys
answer is yes.
gallivanting to?
Obi is gallivanting, and so is Joshua. It looks like here. So shout out to both of them. Gallivanting up a storm. All right. So Yeah, let's look at some tickers over here. What are you guys looking at? Tom H is looking at TECK. Let's have a look at TECK, see what Tom H is chirping about there in the chat. He's not chirping, he's just mentioning it. Calm down, Sharif. TECK, I'm not seeing much on this one. Oh, good look, but it's not loading up on my side my chart for some reason. There it is. Yeah, big volume candle up there for whatever reason, right at 110. Good continuation. What the hell is this? Oh, tech attracts merger and acquisition interest from major miners and copper rush. Okay, so that was met very exuberantly by the market there, breaking through that 47 top nicely, 48.5. Keep your eyes on TECK. It hasn't done a whole lot of volume, 5 million shares on the day. Not bad, but definitely, you know, not huge or anything. Let's load up TECK on the side chart over here, see if we can trade it. So it's a good look. Thanks for shouting that out, Tom. 5% or so there. I'm still looking at the future, still involved in the future, looking for that 19,300 break. It's not coming in quite yet, but we are now holding, I would say, to the higher end of the range that we've been in, Adara, for the better part of almost an hour now, starting really at 1240 and continuing right now. The future is working its way into the high. 19,292 is the high. We're about to break it. We just broke it by a quarter point. Let's go future. Let's go to the high side, baby. Rick, great explanation. Thank you. And I am in short position at 66.14 and possible reversal at 265.20. A shout out to you, Rick. Look, you know, I hope you print up a storm on that side of the desk. I hope I print and you do simultaneously as well.
There are times you can do, like, there was that time that NVIDIA was making new highs and I was like shorting every pop and you and Sean were long, and I think we all ended up being profitable. It was just how you do it. That was a fun. So remember the day you and Sean and I all got out of Meta the exact same to the penny level? That was crazy because you were like,
nuts.
oh, I got out 74s. I remember too, it was 74s because we all wanted 75s, but we didn't want 75s. So you got 74s and you and Sean are like, oh, that's crazy, 74s. And I tuned in and I'm like, wait, you guys said 74s? And you were like, yeah. And I said, me too. And then we were all shocked. But AMD, I got out of a bit early. I stand by it. I left because I did not like that we were kind of having, for my taste anyway, lower highs in the book. I added because at that point we were holding 90s well. Ended up taking on average 8 pennies. Decent position size. I did want, you know, a bit more of a scalp. I was initially going to be adding, subtracting the whole way up into the move. Saw stuff I didn't like and said, Adara, you'll be happier if you just get out. So I got out. I stand by it for the time being, but also I want to shout out Mahmoud, who was asking if I think EWM is a short. This was a while ago. I think IWM is still in a range for now. It actually looks like it's trying to break up above the range. I had one trade on this. I think it was like less than 10 pennies. I was trying to play the range, but those topping tail candles that I think made you probably wonder, like, what's going on here with that potential short? I think those also were a bit bamboozling for me as well. So good look there. Also, Mr. Long Shorts joking about collusion. Now, the funny thing, I think that was funny, Mr. Long Shorts, with that, is neither of us realized we all had it. And then we all like said it, and I think we'd all gotten out by that point too at the 73s, so I think that was what made it very funny. But yeah, shout out to you, Mr. Long Shorts. Also, I am a cool flat here in E to the W. Yeah, this is, I think I'm getting out of this. I don't like these lower highs here. I was like, oh, we could be consolidating for a move up. I don't think that anymore. I want to see if we can kind of come back to 20s and reject, but I'm probably gonna have to get out here. I don't mind taking a bit of a hit. I did take profit on some of this. I just don't like what I'm seeing here with regards to the lower highs. I will be losing about 4 pennies per share on this. I'm okay with that. I'd rather get out now seeing stuff I don't like than wait and waffle, because that is what the look is going to be on this. Mr. Long Shorts is making me laugh over here. But yeah, happy with that EW. TSLA making some, not lower highs, but we're kind of seeing a bit of a curl. Keeping my eyes on TSLA on this. I want to see what we do here at the 90 MA should we get there. This candle, we get to, I don't want to say Morningstar because it wasn't really, but we get to the 222s. We wick above, we wick below. Now we're curling down. Like I said, the Tesla, my new strategy for Tesla, which is taking a lot of book-related trades, has been really helpful. So that's what I've been looking for on this TSLA as we curl back into 222s. If we reject, I'll take a quick pop short on a scalp basis. If we bounce here, if we get to 222s, push up, bounce higher, I am interested in getting involved. But if there's any tickers you guys want, you guys can get involved in the show. Did you know that? You can go in the chat and you can press on this thing and you can press ask something and you can put your ticker in there. Maybe it's Tesla, maybe it's AMD. I don't know, maybe it's AMC, maybe it's TQs. Shout out to Sharif's awesome TQs trade.
Appreciate
Whatever you want, get involved in there. Thank you guys all for being with us as we all learn how to trade together.
Absolutely. All right, I'm trying to add here on the future. as we accumulate. I'm trying to add at 20s because there was a definite top here at 20s locally. All right, so now I'm long at 20s. I've obviously fundamentally changed my cost basis, which is fine because I do like this accumulation. Higher lows with respect for the 10 exponential on the 5. So let's see if we can wet our beak there again. Bang. Let's see if we can get some more. I want some more, baby. Let's move up a little bit more. 19,297 and 3/4. Here come 30s. Nice move up. Let's weasel our way up a little bit more. I want to add again, quite frankly, at 20s. So let's see if we can weasel our way into that again. So there's the order out for defend of the 20 penny level. Now I don't know what this level is on the NQ September contract, but this 66.20 keeps getting defended for higher lows, and that's why I added there. And that was my thinking. So we'll see if we can continue to work off that level and make higher highs, because the higher highs are still in play, the higher lows are still in play. We could absolutely get a mean reversion. There's nothing stopping it, but if I had to look at it and take an educated guess, I think we can continue to trend, even though we have been very consolidative below 19.3, not taking it, which is okay, I guess, because we are in the lower volume time of day. So now I've added again at 20, so let's see if we can get some out a little bit above. We'll look to add possibly, or not add, but I'll look to defend this level, see what we get. If we dip down below it aggressively, I'll get out and then look to add essentially at 66. So if it breaks down below 15s, let's see if we can get something a little bit higher than that, and we'll look to wet our beak again. So here it is, coming down a little bit off 15s. Where's the 10 exponential? I really need to look at the 10 exponential on the TQQQ so I can add off that. That's the 1 minute, that's not the one I want. Here it is, it's dipping down into 66 now. Here we go. The future's coming back down, so I'm gonna have to look. Obi wants it to go down. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a move up. Obi's yelling the mean reversion is coming. We break 90, that's it. So I'm out of that. What a move down there on the future. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pump up. That was off the 20 exponential on the 5. What a dip down into 250. Where is that level relative to price action support? So we'll keep an eye on this one as it really comes down to, do we get anything new there? Wow, what a move down. Oh boy, Obi's yelling. Let's see if we can get a bounce back up. I'm not into this position yet. Let's see if we can get something here at 60. Where are we? 19,225. This is an interesting support level right here on the future. What are you looking at, Adara?
Well, he's got short the SPY, so we'll see how that goes. I will admit this was a little bit of just, hopping in. Okay, happy with this. Let's see what we can get on the SPY. We are currently about 30 pennies in the money on the S&P 500. Come on, SPY, do you want to SPY even lower? Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm getting very excited here. We're going to take out a piece. We're going to take out most of this. We're going to take out, there's a multiple. It's about 66%. It's 2/3. I'm saving a piece though for the dream. Oh my gosh, Sharif, if we get 5.5s, yes, I will be pleased
insane.
As punch. This is wild. This is nuts. Is there any news on this?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh. Okay, market, keep going down. Come on, market, get low. I'm going to chill with this. If we come to 50s and we get a little bit of chop and churn, because I'm also watching here, this was that previous area of support. If we get back up to 50s and reclaim 50s, I'll get out there. I don't mind waiting a little bit though, because this is one of those trades that you want to be a part of. You want to be part of the movement, and you do want all the smoke. So let's go. I want to see what we can do here at 545s. I mean, I don't want to just be in this like, oh, I'm trying to get $1. But if I can get $1 in the SPY, that would be, I'm not going to lie, it'd be a nice time. It'd be a good time. Let's see how we do here. Okay, SPY, come on, get lower, get lower. Okay, I want to see what the SPY, this has been really fun to be a part of. I'm really proud of this trade. Proud I saw that, had the impetus to get involved. Kind of a bit of a bounce at 545s that I don't love. Let's wait and see what we do here in these here markets. But this is a really fun opportunity. Sometimes you guys just got to get involved with when you see stuff. This is something I'm still learning as well. I saw that. I was like, think there's some opportunities. Not a massive position by any means, but it's not about the size always. It's about learning and what happening. I didn't like the bounce we got there at 545s, so trying to get out here at 545.15s. If the SPY will have me getting a little too bouncy, maybe should have gone out a little bit lower. Still proud of that position though. Took 70 pennies on that with the remaining third of La Position. We're still looking for news here, Freddie the friendly guy.
Ooh.
Also, okay, wow, the market dropped even further. I got out too early. Let me see what happens there. I'm still happy with the position. Tesla also, I tried along on this, got out, lost about 40 pennies when we had that drop here. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking for any short and all shorts. I want to shout out the reversion man himself.
The reversion man.
With that trade.
Nice,
Joe Powell,
OB.
who? This is the reversion man. Yeah, thank you, Kyle Burdett, as well for the you get your little pun in there, and I also appreciate the shout out. So
Big
good
smile.
times. Yeah, so also thank you, Joanna Brewster. Definitely got to get that breath before the markets knock me out here. This has been such a fun day, guys. I hope you have enjoyed yourself in these markets as well, because this has been wild and woolly times. I'm looking for some other short opportunities if they arrive, just a short pops.
Yes, I got zigged and zagged, but I was able to make a little bit there at the end as we got back long. I'm still looking for a possible pop back up. Call me crazy. But I'm looking over here. Well, actually, if we get back into 19.2, I'm looking to actually take that rejection. We're actually quite close to it, 19,180. But I don't know, man. I feel bear trap coming in, but that's just my opinion. Don't take it as anything over here. We have everything really above the volume weighted average price in Mag 7 world except NVIDIA. That's the only one that's not above the volume weighted average price. VWAP on the futures 19,150. We are in the 60s now. We are coming down aggressively, and that's as quick as we can come down. It takes us forever to go up, and it takes us 2 seconds only to come down, baby. That's just the way this market operates, but we are now at VWAP on, I believe the future very close, on it on Apple, on it on Amazon, still well above it on some other names. And, well, NVIDIA's well below it now. NVIDIA wants to go red if it breaks 112. So I'm continuing to watch this future. I want to see if it does get a relief bounce off this particular area, off the volume weighted average price. Packing my patience. Also looking at Apple to see what it's doing at break-even point right now. 217.50s-ish is that level on AAPL. So packing my patience on this trade over here, seeing what we get at these levels right now.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle Burdett. Big
smile.
Burdett, thank you so much for
Wow.
your $10 super chat. I want my quadunk. Say it, mustache man, say it. Shout out Dan.
I can't look at the chat.
As well. Yeah, I mean, he'll say quadunk once he's done there. Do not worry. I promise you a quadunk is in order. But also, I did take a bit of a Tesla short here. This I'm less proud of than the SPY short. I think this, I will be honest, I was maybe chasing waterfalls a little bit. I saw us break below 220s. I wanted to try something. I did try something. It has worked out, to be clear. But I think sometimes, you still want to make sure you're following your plan a little bit more. Why can I not press any of my keys? Come on, market. So this is kind of weird, but let's see what we do here. If we get back below 220s, I'll stay in this. I want to see what we do as we waffle. I did already take out part of the position as we broke a little bit lower here, but 220, if not 221, I initially wanted 220.50s. 221, maybe not doing something for Tesla, but 220s is doing something for me right now. I'm just going to get out here, basically flat in the rest of that position. Didn't like how we were kind of trying to curl here. Bears versus Bulls, shout out to you asking if SPY is my favorite yet. I have to say, this is my second day in a row I've tried to take one of those SPY breakdown plays. I like the way it moves. I like watching it dance from across the room. It's doing the boogie. It gives you the eye. I think, I don't know if it's my favorite yet, Bears versus Bulls, but I definitely love it. I'm proud to have it on my side chart every single day to look at these markets. This has been a wild move here on these markets. I literally, no words. I am speechless, but if you are speechless about any takers, please get in that chat, guys, and go get involved. What stocks do you want to see? Press ask something. Then answer that question. Also, how are the Qs doing?
Good. I'm long and I'm like nicely in the money at this moment. We'll see if we can defend VWAP. That's the reason I got long here, but I'm not going to allow it to go against me. So I've already wet my beak on some profits. Let's see if we can move up a little bit off that volume weighted average price, maybe into something like 19.2. But if we give up volume weighted average price, I'm not going to hold this. I'm not going to sit there and DCA into it. But there we go. Zigging and zagging. A little above, a little bit below. Can we move up a little bit over here? It's a bit of an anemic bounce, certainly as it relates, as it compares to that big move down. I'm talking about the bounce that we're experiencing right now off the volume weighted average price on the NQ September contract. And the reason I keep moving my head left and right is because I'm looking at the actual futures contract on my side screen. We're nicely in the money. We're 20 pennies in the money here, but definitely want to see if I can take a little bit more off this level. We'll see if it can weasel its way back into VWAP. But if it comes down below my entry, that's going to be the end of the trade. And we'll see what we get there. Apple finding support off the volume weighted average price. What else? Amazon found support off the volume weighted average price. You're getting a couple of green candles as well now on Nvidia, Tesla, Google. Not so much Softy though. Softy looking a little bit red. Softy might be a short here because I'm not seeing any bounce on the soft one. I'll show that in a second. But I'm trying to pack my patience here with this futures trade. But here it is against me, so that's the end of the trade there. And we take that last piece break even. But if it does bounce up again off VWAP, I'll take it long. If it gives away VWAP and really starts tanking down, I'll take it short. I don't mind. Let's basically just watch and see how this one reacts. But Microsoft is coming down, guys. There is not a bit to be had here on the soft one. Softy's on the way down. It's broken the 20. It's broken the 10. It really doesn't have anything price action wise until 424. That's at least what I see at these levels. You have a nice consolidation area top at around 424, but that's $2.50 from where we are right now. The future, though, getting another little bounce, which is keeping Softy from dropping anymore. So I don't want to jump into the short too quickly on this one because Apple bouncing nicely off the volume weighted average price, and so is the future. But yeah, it's having the effect of preventing the soft one from coming down a little bit more. So I would definitely want it to get into this, but if it keeps holding up like this, that's not the move for me. Any news on this, says Nate? Not that I see, my man. I'm looking at the news blotter here real quick, and I'm not seeing anything of note, but it could be geopolitical. I may not have eyes on it, so we'll see there. But yeah, man, I'm just waiting for either VWAP to hold or get broken so I know exactly what I want to do on MSFT. Was there anything back there?
No, okay. They're talking about youth leading 2024.
Oh, okay, no, that's not the
Go youth.
Go, yeah, I don't have no problem with youth, but it's not going to move the market like this.
No.
Right, so I'm packing my patience. I want to do something here on Microsoft or the futures. It's just I'm going to have to wait to see exactly how this resolves, whether it bounces up and holds that 19,150 area on the future, which prevents Microsoft from coming down anymore, at least in my estimation, or we give way at VWAP. If we give way at VWAP, I'll be looking to short there. Martin says banks could be the reason. Let's have a look at the banking sector over here. I'm not seeing any flush in banks. I'm seeing, just they're mostly green except Bank of America. Actually, they're all green except Bank of America. So I'm keeping my eye on that. The soft one is coming down a little bit, even though the future is not. So a little bit of an inverse relationship right now between Microsoft and the NQ September contract. Well, at least there was. Now it's bouncing a little bit here. Unsure what to make of this whole thing here, Dara.
Yeah, I have some Tesla trades I was pretty proud of there. I was scalping that Tesla during that move. But also, I'm trying to get involved here in M's. I just got involved. I have some qualms. But you might be like, Dara, if you have some qualms, why get involved? Well, trading is, you always want to be a little bit uncomfortable, right? Why did I like this, though? I talked about this gorgeous range we had here for a little bit from about 122.60s, 80s-esque to about 123.80s on. So I wanted this short because look where we had that little. Okay, MMM's already making me regret my life. Let's see what we do here. If we come reject below 80s, I'll get out. Okay, yeah, this has not been the trade of my life. By any means, I want to see if we get back below 80s. If we get back below 80s, I'll stay in this. If not, it's like Dara, you felt kind of weird about it in the first place. Why did you get involved? I got to face palm myself for this. This is gross. This was not a trade I am at all proud of. In all honesty, we got out. Definitely, obviously could have been worse, but I was like, good times. On to the next trade. Thank you, Ahmed Amwala, AED 1799 super chat. Dara, say hi to my long-term Oklo. Let's take a look. Also, John H. saying why is not a strategy. Yeah, I'm aware why is not a strategy, but it's like I like to say the why to be like, this is why I like it. You know what I mean? It's like me asking myself why.
What's wrong with that?
So that's what I like. And I just wanted to say that. Yeah, CMG is back to my level. Thank you, Jetvoy. Oklo, let's take a look at this 10 minute. The larger one, daily. Let's take a look at the daily chart for Oklo. See how this one goes. Wrestling with finance doing the facepalm emoji. That's literally what I was doing to my to my trade. Yeah, that I was not saying to that. I was saying to that. So let's say AAPL. It's the 1 month. That's why I was confused by that. Daily chart. Let's see what we got. I want to shout you out here, Ahmed, because Ahmed or I don't know. I'm trying. You are up on this on the day. $10 on the day. 10% of the day to the upside. This is an interesting little consolidation pattern we've got going on here because we have slightly higher lows here and lower highs. We'll have to wait and see how this consolidates, but I do like this area we're trying to push up into that 922. This was certainly maybe a little bit of an area of support. We're trying to find resistance at. I think if we can break above, push above these topping tail candles, I think that is a great look here for OKLO. Thank you very much for your super chat and for your support. Hope your trading day is going well, and I guess it's certainly going well for AAPL there.
Yeah, we're just printing up over here. So there we go, just got out, and I got out too early again on this one. So we're taking the mean, reversing back, and I know you guys were all excited, but the fuge, it's headed back to the high side. 19.2 just got taken. Here we go. Let's see if we reject, though. 19.2 and a quarter was incoming, and boom, we just get that topping tail candle right back down. So let's see if we defend 19.2 here. Don't forget that 19.204 is break even. Well, that's not break even, bro. That's yesterday's break even. You're losing it. I got to delete that. I was bamboozling trend line there. So I did get long at the $0.25, was able to wet my beak at 48s, but you know, I want a little bit more there. So let's see if we can get that continuity back up. Where do I want to get in if we do dip again? So where is the level here? Now we're in between levels and I don't have a good idea, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. If we break this area, 64.90, essentially 19,150 on the NQ September contract, I'm going short for sure. We have to break it on a closing basis. We'll see if we have enough time until then, but right now we only have 12 minutes left on the show. Can you believe it? That time flew like that. Quite frankly, we'll see. We're right above 19.2 again. So we're zagging and zagging a little bit here, but to be expected because that was okay, I want to tell you guys something. From the top of the candle at 1:30, excuse me, to the bottom of the candle at 1:35, we printed 19,149 at the low. We printed at the top 19,292. We dropped 150 points in like, I don't even want to say that was 10 minutes because it wasn't 2 full 5-minute candles.
That was crazy.
That was insane, yeah. So this is the 1 minute chart, 1, 2, 3, well, about 5-6 minutes or so we got from top to bottom. Right now we're low again, below 19.2, topping tail candle in the 5 minute, topping through a key area of technical resistance, which is 19.2. So if we definitely reject that and make a newer low below 19,150, this is a very interesting short. Ugly, ugly topping tail candle right now off 19.225 and below 19.2 we go. Oh baby, the shorts are back in control, or so it seems. Big Spiles reloading his SPY short. Oh, this market's gonna crash. Here we go down again. Very exciting times. I'm just exaggerating for effect, by the way, in case you think that I'm actually doing this because I'm actually like this. I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm just watching the future and trying to get excited. It's Friday, baby. I'm headed to the beach after this. I got the weekend tomorrow, so I'm in a good mood. And yeah, just excuse me if I'm getting a little bit excited right now. So I'm watching the future, and if we bounce off here, I'm unsure what to do because we're in kind of no man's land. So I got no trade. I'm packing my patience. We either take that level again. I'm talking about 19,225 on a closing basis, or we break down below 19,150. In either case, if we don't do one of those, I'm not trading it.
Yeah, I got back involved in the SPY short here, and I did that because look at this topping tail candle. I like that rejection here of the 90 MA, and it was a little bit of confluence as well with that previous area of support on the SPY. I wanted to get involved a little bit earlier. I initially was looking at I think 545 10s. Couldn't get that. I said, Adara, as long as that move's still valid, I think you can get a little bit lower. I'm going to get another piece out here at 49s. What I've been doing is adding out, taking out 2/3, adding back 2/3, taking out 2/3, adding back 2/3. The slalom style of range trading that I like. Now, did I change my average a bit? Oh, for sure. I knew that going into it, but I said, Adara, if you want to stay for this move a little bit, you could stay for this move a little bit. I would like to see decisive break below 50s here. That would be what I really want to keep me and propel me in this trade, because I seeing a little bit of a bounce here off VWAP. Do not love that on the SPY, but I don't have a reason to leave yet. I don't want to panic sell. If we get really decisively up above into 80s here, I want to see what we do here. That'll be pretty key for me. But man, I love just being able to take these trades as the market is rip-roaring. This is so much fun. Hope you guys are having as much fun as we are on this because, yeah, it's been a good time. Thank you, Steve J. Much appreciated there. Yeah, I'm just trying to take whatever trades the market is giving me. I have to say, though, this the trade, is getting some aggressive journaling tonight, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Like,
I heard that yesterday too, so I noticed.
I understand why I liked this. I get why I like this on some level. Look at that support. We were rejecting. We had a bit of a topping tail candle, but I didn't take like a massive position, but arguably too large. Happy with where I got out though. We got to the 123s, which was the area I mentioned earlier as well. If I took this trade, we got out. So I can't be like too morose about it. And honestly, why am I getting morose here? Because the SPY is breaking lower. Oh my gosh, SPY, you want to give me 30s? Let's
give it to her, SPY.
Please, this punch. Let's see if we get back below into 29s, which I believe is where my entry is. Don't you love when you press the order and then it like runs away from your price?
John, you love that.
But let's see how there we go. 30 pennies in the rest of that SPY position. I spy with my little eye trading that I wish I could be doing more often going forward. Though to be clear, this by no means negates the questionableness of the M trade. There will be journaling. Chill vibes with the weekend pun there. The best feeling is when you end the weekend green. Shout out to you if you were doing that. I definitely did not, but I think today was important. I've learned some things. I know where the questionable trades were. Aggressive journaling time.
All right, so I was scalping. I actually scalped long while you were talking, and I'm doing it again. I'm calling my Chris, but I'm looking to see we're still above the volume-weighted average price, so I'm still a little bullish. I don't know, I'm nuts, but what can I say? We're still holding VWAP, topping tail candle or not. So we don't have another low here below 64.90. I know Rick. Let's go shorts. Keep shorting TQQQ until 64.34, says Rick. Well, I'm really upset that I didn't add at this 65 dip. Dang it, because we're above VWAP, Sharif. Got to be feeling long until we're below VWAP. And then here we go to the high side again. Let's watch what we do at 19.2 and 19.225, because we know 19.225 had that gnarly topping tail candle. We dip down. We hold 19.150. VWAP, not just the 50-point level. So here we go again on the future. Wow, zigging and zagging. And I see people in the chat, they're like, yo, man, don't mess with the algos on the future. Well, I've been messing with them all day, and it's been okay. So let's see if we can mess with them a little bit more over here. I want to see if we can continue to move up or we give way at VWAP. And so that's going to be my look. I'm really disappointed in myself. I didn't add at 65. I really wanted to add there. That's a mistake by me. So I won't journal aggressively, but I will make myself feel very bad about it. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. So I'm going to be looking right now at whether or not we take it to the high side, but there's only about like 2 minutes left until I have to get up. So I'm kind of really upset that I have to get up today. I really actually wanted to trade these futures. I think we're going to have a nice, good direction into 19.2, at least one way or another. Say that again. I can't trade while I'm at the big screen, Neil. I ain't going to do that.
And sit there and the three of us will trade.
Sit there and the three of you guys will trade, and I'll cheer you guys on. I can do that. Or after the green screen, yeah. But I'm going. No, I can't do that. You know?
And I will give news updates.
Yeah.
All good.
But yeah, thank you. All right, let's see what everybody else is looking at here in the chat. Chop session says chill vibes. Anu View, haven't seen you in a minute in the chat there, Anu View. Triple M stuck at 124. We saw Dara trading that. Fonzie always saying weird stuff like he always is in the chat. I have no idea what he's talking about. Love you again. What's going on over there, bro? Anyway, Neil says love you, Pawns. So yeah, okay, you got some love on the desk. All right, here we go. We're still holding at VWAP Adara. I'm not going to take any trades here because we're not below VWAP, so I don't want to get short. And we're not really, holding VWAP we're not making any new highs, I should say, sorry. So I'm not going to get long on anything. I'm just going to pack my patience and chirp up a storm until it's time for me to get up. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I like that. I'm proud to hear of this Tesla short that I had during that drop. I don't know if I talked about this one. So I took 20 pennies on this, took the 220, like I said, the 20 cent level on Tesla I've liked, so I took 220.20 with decent size into 220. Tesla, though, I think is kind of curling higher. Why do I say that? Because we're seeing higher lows in the book. We're seeing a bit of a bottoming tail candle here on the chart, and we're bouncing near the 90 MA. You know what I call that? Confluence. You know what Sam Waterston in Law and Order would call that? Chung chung. No, I'm joking. But yeah, my verdict is I think Tesla could push higher, but I don't have enough confidence in it to take it. The trade I am a little bit kicking myself for not getting back involved in here, though, is going to be SPY. Because the SPY rejected the 90 MA and that 545 level yet again. I didn't get involved, and I think, I honestly don't even think that's a profit thing. I think it was just because I didn't see the same aggression that I saw the first 2 times I shorted it. This time was a little bit more subdued. It was a little bit more sleepy. It was a little bit more like me around 2 p.m., a little bit tireder. So I was like, I don't want to get too involved just yet, you know what I mean? But now it looks like the SPY making a bit of a bottoming tail candle. Oh, Tesla, if you want to actually give me a 221 long,
give it to her, Tesla.
I think 221 might actually do something for me on TSLA, but I want to see it break above 221 and then chop before I get involved, because I don't want to take a 221 break on a whim when the market has been doing bizarre things. But speaking of whims, what about EOM? Because I know Mahmoud was talking about a short earlier on this, and I was like, you know, I said a little bit rangy for the time being, and this is even wild because we had that big move down in the market. IWM still holding previous support and resistance. It comes back to the 228 level from whence it chopped and churned earlier. Then it comes right back. Now it's rejecting VWAP. This has been such a rangy ticker, IWM today. When I showed it OB when I was trading that one earlier today. Oh boy. But yeah, this.
Oh boy.
Speaking of oh boy, Amazon actually also kind of in a range. I was vaguely tempted by Amazon during the little market drop, but this one, yeah, interesting little look. I agree. Thank you, Steve J. For saying this quality over quantity. Adair, don't force the junk trades. I agree. MM, I'm looking at you because that was. I mean, to be clear, again, I had levels I liked on it, but I felt weird about it getting in. So it's like, why did I do it? I'm gonna have to reflect on that. Tesla, though, that's one I have been staring at all day. So if I were like that, I would not consider that to be a junk trade, in my opinion. But I think that I appreciate what you're saying there. You have to figure out what is and isn't junk. But yeah, Amazon interesting at 182.40.
All right, guys, I will see everybody at the green screen. Don't forget that we have a new way to vote, so make sure you are going into the chat there and clicking that black rectangle at the top. What stocks do you want to vote for? It's too late to vote today, but get your vote in for Monday. See everybody at the green screen.
Thank you so much, Sharif. Hope you have fun at the beach this weekend and fun at the green screen. You will see him in 2 minutes there. Hope you guys had a fun session in these markets because this has been so exciting. Here to trade. We've got Tesla back at 221. It cannot get above 221. IWM is so tricky. I do agree, Mahmoud. I think that it's one that, like, I had one trade in it today. It was just a bit too bamboozling. I think I made less than 10 pennies on it. You got to do what you got to do, and you have to be comfortable with taking different styles of trades. Some trades today, I'm happy with my new strategy for Tesla, which is just very book focused. Happy with how some of the CMG and EW trades went, but there are some trades that were just not the vibe, like, you know, MM. Or one of those AM trades where you have to do some studying and you have to work at it to learn a little bit better. So that's what the best parts of trading is. I feel like you're learning a little bit every day. But happy you got to learn with us here. You're going to see what the big kahunas were doing during this drop. I know the reversion man was, I think, pretty pleased as punch with that reversion. So shout out, you're going to be able to hear about that short, which I assume was pretty great there. So peace out to you, Ponzi. Peace out to everyone here. This has been such a fun day. Oh my gosh, Tesla, do you actually want to give me a scalp here as we end the midday? Because I do like how we're holding these higher highs in the book. Really small position. This is just really to practice getting involved in these trades. If we push up here, get at 80s, I'd be tempted to add a little bit. But this is sometimes you just got to take the reps, right? One of the biggest things I've learned, because I was talking to the guys a couple weeks ago after just talking about it, one of the things that's really important while you're learning is don't force the size of the trades, force the just like the actual reps of the trades. So that's what I've been trying to work on here. Let's see what we do here on TSLA. Just a quick little trade for the road because I do love this level and I was seeing stuff I liked on this level. But now we're going to have to see Sharif in a couple moments here on the green screen. We'll have to see what Obi was doing, what Neil was doing. Okay, market dropping back a little bit, so RIP Tesla. But this has been such a fun day. See you guys on Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Sharif.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. We got Obi in today. He's in for Sean. Sean's got the day off. Neil locked in, loaded. They're ready.